This podcast is made possible in part by patrons like you. Become a patron today at patreon.com/binge movies. Transmitting from the last video store in the universe, it's Binge Movies, episode 122. This is the show that ranks and eliminates movies to determine which ones are worthy of preservation for all time, even beyond the end times. On this episode, we rank the Predator franchise. Let's vamp a little bit here, Washburn, just because I need extra time to get the baby oil applied to my body. What are we doing with our lives?
I don't know. We're sticking in there. We're troopers. We'll keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna represent.
The weather's not helping.
We're gonna represent bumfuck America. You and me.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need more
flyover country, more like fuck you country.
Yeah, fuck you country. Midwest versus everybody. Fuck the coast. I say that, but if anybody wants to give me more access to more screeners, right, I will gladly take them. Let's get something out of the way. You're young, you're youthful, you're full of zest, you're full of life. I need to explain to you how the world used to work. Lindsay, you may not know this because you were just a mere gleam in probably your grandfather's eye at this point, but the way the internet used to work is we all had these collective memories of things that we saw on cable and VHS frequently, over and over and over again. And movies that, there'd be odd little sentences, odd little sayings here, there, and yon that it'd catch your ear, and you would, for whatever reason, personally, you'd find it funny, and you'd want to, right? It just stuck out, and you'd be like, oh, that's a weird way of reading that line, or that line's weird, or it's kind of funny. And you never knew that anybody else, that it struck their ear the same way. So in the early days of the internet, you'd get online, you dial up your modem, you'd get online, maybe you're getting you got your first high-speed modem, it's circa 2000, maybe even 2004, maybe even 2005, parts of the Midwest were still getting high-speed internet.
Oh yeah.
You get onto your MySpace, you start setting up your profile, and then you see that somebody else, maybe a band that you liked, or maybe a celebrity you wanted to follow, that their tagline for their MySpace profile would be a movie quote, and you'd be like, wow, and then what you'd find out is that there was a whole world of people who thought that same one line from that same movie that we all watched was weird or stood out to them or was funny. That doesn't happen anymore because now everything happens concurrently with the internet.
Yeah.
That sense of discovery, it created the early days of, I guess, what we call memes. Memes were born from this stuff. That is not the world that we live in anymore. So here's what I want.
Sadly, no.
You're an actress. I want you to we got to get it all out of our system because it's been 20 goddamn years and all the jokes have been done. All the memes have been done. The metal band with the guy who was in a Christian band and tried to kill his wife. He had a whole fake band, Austrian Death Machine. It was all built around Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, get to the chopper. So let's get the fuck out of our system because I don't want to hear it once we get in the episode. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
So I'm going to I want you, Lindsay, to do it. I want you to do it into the microphone. Do your best Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do it now. Get to the chopper. Do it. And then I want the audience, I want you to participate in this because I want your systems purged of this dead fucking meme so that we can move on with our lives because we got serious business here. We're talking about
serious business.
Laser cannon bearing aliens who want autism. We got things to do here, folks.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, Lindsay, hit us with your best army.
Go now! Get to the chopper!
That's
I
it.
can't do it that great. I don't get his like guttural tones
Yeah.
because I'm a tiny woman. I can't get that. My epiglottis doesn't do that.
Yeah, because he is famous for just making guttural noises that aren't even
And
words.
evidently
Yeah.
it's his favorite line that he's ever given of his one-liners. That's his favorite, I guess, for some reason. He has so many great ones to choose from.
Oh, I
choose that
know.
one.
Yeah.
But I guess that's his favorite.
So can you believe how much I am in heaven? I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people. I get the same feeling. So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right? So, I'm in heaven.
For whatever reason, I get it. That one hit our ears as kids or as growing up in the world. And then we discovered that it was funny to everybody, but it's dead now. Lindsay officially killed it.
I did kill it.
It is dead, and it is over.
Killed it. Killed it.
The meme is dead. Long live the meme. Every 9 years they try to do this again.
Yeah.
Or 12 years or 13 years, and
on average about every 7, I guess.
There you go. Look at that. So it's just is it diminishing returns? We're about to find out. Let's start with the stone cold classic. Maybe one of the greatest action directors of all time. There's a lot to get into with this one. And of course, we're talking about 1987's John McTiernan classic, Predator, which currently has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Whatever it is out there, it killed Hopper, and now it wants us.
Nothing like it has ever been on Earth before.
She says the jungle, it just came alive and took him.
It kills for pleasure.
He was skinned alive!
It hunts for sport.
It's killing us one at a time.
But this time,
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
it's picked the wrong man to hunt. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator. Rated R. The hunt begins Friday, June 12th at theaters everywhere.
Predator was directed by John McTiernan. It was written by first-time screenwriters Jim and John Thomas, brothers. It is the triumphant return of Carl Weathers, last seen dead in the Rocky franchise. Now he's moved from Rocky to Rocky with Arnie. I wonder if there's a little bit of fuck you energy there. I don't know. It is, of course, the triumphant return of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's appeared 50 bajillion times. Just search our index for movies with him in it. We've got most of them. It is the triumphant return of sex offender glasses worn by Shane Black. I like to only have you on when there's at least a sex offender or sex offender glasses in one of the series of movies. So
Yes, and here we have a few throughout the series.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Film was released June 12th, 1987 on a budget of between $15 and $18 million. And just based on the production history, that seems bizarre to me that budget is actually that low. I feel like that is maybe some Joel Silver cocaine accounting going on there.
I don't know.
With a box office of $98.3 million. Now, of course, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but if the budget really is about $18 million, and they really did make just shy of $100 million in 1987...
It's huge.
It's a phenomenal amount of money. So my one-sentence plot synopsis is elite commandos become Earth's deadliest game.
Mine is Arnold and Friends versus Alien in the Jungle.
Before we get to personal histories, let's get into the history of the film. This, of course, was written by first-time screenwriters, the Thomas brothers, as it were. Their original screenplay for this was called Hunter, and that idea will come back. A band of hunters would, the original conception for the movie is that there'd be a band of hunters who would be branching out on this planet, potentially an alien planet, and that idea will come back.
It does come back.
And they would be the hunters, and they would be hunting various dangerous species on the planet until they found one that was starting to hunt them. But they deemed it was too complicated, too expensive, especially for first-time screenwriters. So they pared it down. And the urban legend, maybe you've heard this, is that one of them or somebody thought, what if Rocky fought the alien from Aliens?
Fought E.T., yeah.
Yeah, fought E.T. or something like that. Too. Okay. I don't want to call bullshit on that urban legend. There's an easier analogy to make, though. Okay? Mm-hmm. What if Rambo fought? Right? The Rambo series, you and I covered it last season. It's in full bloom. It's in full gear. It's making a shit ton of money every year. Why would you go to like, what if Sylvester Stallone
Why would you say Rocky? Yeah.
Rocky boxed E.T. in a jungle. Like, what the fuck? Like, that is either complete bullshit or that is the thought of somebody high off their ass on cocaine.
I guess. I mean, there was probably a lot of cocaine slinging around. I mean, to think of some of this stuff. But yeah, Rocky versus E.T. And E.T. it's E.T. He just wants to go home. He's not trying to rip anybody's spine out.
The obvious answer is Rambo versus the xenomorph, right? Or the Rambo versus the alien from Aliens, right? So I don't understand that. The second unit director on this movie was Craig Baxley, and you may know him as the stunt coordinator for the A-Team. So they actually went in. The production of this is insane because it was broken up by 6 months, and we'll get into that. But a lot of the more explosive action sequences, where they take the village, that was all done by second unit, and he choreographed the whole thing. They pyroed the whole thing, and it was all done with the A-Team crew, the guys who did all the pyro for the A-Team. And John McTiernan, allegedly, when he started to get the dailies back, because he wasn't involved with that part of the shoot, threw a fit and wanted it all cut from the film because he wasn't trying to make he pitched this whole movie and he was promised that he wasn't making a big Arnold Schwarzenegger stupid action movie like Commando.
But he's so good at that.
I know he is. But what he wanted to make was a straight horror movie with slight action elements to it. And I think when you really watch the movie, the pacing of it, other than that big action sequence, that's really what it is. It's very methodical.
This is horror. This is horror. Yeah. You get the stalking and slashing. It's a slasher film. Yes. It's picking them off one by one, and you get some amazing kills in this movie.
Absolutely. Now, there's another urban legend. This is allegedly true, though, Lindsay, was that Shane Black was only hired as an actor because they wanted him to do rewrites on the dialogue. But once they got down to Mexico, he refused to do the rewrites because he said, "I'm just here as an actor." So he never. Some people have said, "Well, he was like did a secret rewrite on the dialogue, and that's why he has all the jokes that he has." And when not true, allegedly, it's not true because he refused to do it. He's like, "I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not doing it. I'm just an actor in this."
See, I'd heard the first part. I had not heard the second part that he refused to do it.
That actually comes from one of the producers of the movie who did an interview about it, and he was pissed at him. He was still mad. He's like,
this is why we brought you down here, and you didn't do it
because he wasn't known really as an actor. So like, we didn't want to. We hired you as an actor as a fucking favor, man. It was just a way to sneak you onto the goddamn set. And we got down to Mexico, and the quote's like, "We got down to Mexico, guy fucking refused to do what we told him." So this whole thing is crazy.
That sounds like something Shane Black would do.
Yes, it does. And there's worse sins that he's committed. We'll get to them.
Yes.
This movie was shot in Puerto Vallarta in summertime. Here's the only problem, Lindsay. It's not green in Puerto Vallarta in summertime.
It's brown.
It's brown. And do you know why it was shot, half of it, in Puerto Vallarta?
Probably for some reason, like Arnold couldn't get his cigars into the other location or something like that.
Not Arnold. Arnold, by all accounts, was all business, was super humble, was awesome on the set. Nobody has a bad word. It was because Joel Silver had a beachfront condo in Puerto Vallarta, and John McTiernan rented one next to him. So they wanted to be by their vacation houses, even though it was completely wrong. And they eventually had to pick up the entire production and move it to a different part of Mexico because what they were doing was to film in Puerto Vallarta. They had to hire locals to work on the film. Mm-hmm. None of them had any film experience, to the point that when they were doing setting up the lights and the lighting, they were using the wrong fixtures. And during the first part of the shoot, all the lights would explode. So the guy who was like on the production crew and the second unit director, Craig Baxley, they had to call people in Australia for a crew they had worked on the previous film they had just been on, find everybody with available passports and like fly them over red eye from Australia to Mexico to be able to continue the first round of production. because it was going
That's
that
crazy.
bad. And you do know that they actually had to fly in greenery that was in potted plants, and they were setting it up behind each and every shot.
God.
And they had a crew that was picking up green leaves and different things like that.
Yeah, well, I knew they were painting some stumps and had a lot of spray paint on sets.
So there's whole stretches of this movie where everything you see was staged behind them, even though they were really in a jungle location because they planned so poorly.
Damn.
There's another weird little story here, which is that Arnold actually got married during this time, and he left for his honeymoon on a Friday. Made it in time for the rehearsal dinner, got married on Saturday, had a 2-day honeymoon, and was back on set to film by that Wednesday.
That's insane. I know his wife was not too happy because he was more focused on the film than he was their wedding.
Yes. Now, you are a wife, right? Among many other things. How would you feel if your husband, or how would your husband feel? It's a gender neutral world. How would your husband feel if you took an acting gig or you decided to record a 50-hour episode about Predator movies with Binge Movies instead of going on your honeymoon? I know it's been a minute since you've been married, but let's roll that tape forward. What would your husband say if you were like, I got 2 days for this honeymoon. I got to get back and talk about Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Right. It would probably depend on how much I was getting paid. I think that would soften the blow a little. I'm sure Arnold got paid quite handsomely for this film.
I'm sure he did, but is that the note you want to start on your marriage?
No.
Like that's literally the
it's
foundation of your life together.
Oh no, and that marriage did not end very happily. If so I mean, I think that was a sign going in. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, the original production schedule for this movie was supposed to be a 56-day shoot. Okay, that's not long, especially back then. It was not a long period of time. After 48 days, less than half of the movie had been shot. So they shut down the production. And then, basically the final straw, and this is, of course, famous, is the original suit for the Predator looked like a bug.
And poor Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, I'm going to kick it over to you because Jean-Claude, you're an expert in all things Van Damme. So I'm going to kick that over to you. But they got the suit and they're like, this looks like shit. We got a handful of days left to shoot this stuff. They just shut the production down. And the studio actually was not going to finish the film. They were not going to release it. Joel Silver had to go beg for more time and more money from the studio because they were like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing? And they started, and the only thing that saved it was McTiernan basically did like a secret edit of the footage he was getting. And they showed that to the studio and they started to get the ideas like a Hail Mary, like this is what we're going for. And it was ironically the scene shot by Craig Baxley that McTiernan originally was like, fuck this, get this out of this movie. It was cut down, by the way. But it was the explosions that they were like, okay, all right, this is going to be a hit. And they gave more time and more money. Now, somewhere, there's about 5 different stories of this as to what went down. What is this, during this time, this limbo period, Jean-Claude Van Damme was fired off of this movie.
Yes.
What was his role? Why was he fired, Lindsay? What's the story you've heard is probably the best way to put it.
I've heard a couple different reasons too, and I'm sure it's an amalgamation of all of them.
Yeah.
And they hired him to do it because they wanted a very lithe Predator who could do jumps and kicks and all this kind of stuff. So they got him. But the suit was so restrictive for him, the suit that was designed, this bug creature that looked like shit that John McTiernan hated. He's like, that's exactly what we are trying not to do.
Yeah.
He couldn't move like they wanted him to. That was the biggest reason. The one reason. Another reason that it was so hot on location and so hot in that suit that he kept passing out.
Yes.
He would get overheated and keep passing out. Another reason is that he found out people weren't going to be able to see his face.
Right. That's allegedly another reason. And there's allegedly another reason, which is the way that they did this is The chroma key, because they needed somebody live on set or on location, but they wanted to do it's not outlet matte paintings. They were going to do inlet matte paintings, which is basically to create that refracted look, the invisibility look of the bending light around the creature. So he had to wear a red suit because typically,
super red.
Yeah, typically you'd be green, but everything was green.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to make him red to stand in contrast to the jungle. And this is another urban legend, whatever. He didn't understand why he was red. And eventually, apparently he threw a fit because he thought that the suit, basically, that was kind of, doing what we would call today motion capture.
Yeah.
That suit he thought that was going to be the finished product.
Yeah.
And allegedly
he couldn't quite grasp.
Yeah, he threw a fit and they tried to explain it to him and he still didn't get it, so they just fired him. There's about 3 more versions of that story. Nobody can confirm all the details, so you're probably right, right? Is that they are probably an amalgamation of all of it. He's probably a pain in the ass because he always was. Didn't get it.
I love Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he could be a little bit of a diva. So
yeah, he's a pain in the ass.
He is.
He always wants to do splits. He always wants to show off his ass. He had a nice ass for a time. He did. He was great at the splits. He's a sexy boy, but that's not the role that we were hiring him for. He wasn't here to be a beef boy. He was here to be a predator. And so instead, who do they get to replace him?
Oh, I can never remember this guy's name. He's like 7'1".
He was the xenomorph. It's Kevin.
Yeah, the guy who plays the xenomorph.
Kevin Hill? Kevin Hall?
Kevin Peter Hall.
It's Kevin Peter Hall. Yeah. So Kevin Peter Hall is brought in because he had famously done the xenomorph, right? And then on top of that, Arnold's like, I just worked with this guy on The Terminator named Stan Winston. Have him design the alien.
And thank God.
And Stan very quickly, by the way, very little time, puts together this creature because the gap in production was about 6 months. Yeah. And before they went back to Mexico and finished the film. And when they show up for the second part of production, they have the classic Predator. This suit is up there with Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, it's iconic.
It is.
It's so well designed and it works so well. And James Cameron had a little piece of it as well. Have you heard that story?
I have not heard the story.
Well, evidently, Stan Winston and James Cameron were flying somewhere. I think, I can't remember exactly where, but they were seated next to each other on a flight, and Stan is working on the design on the plane because he has so little time to work on it. And evidently, James Cameron had suggested the mandible mouth for the design.
Well, that is one of the most standout, unique, awesome parts of this creature.
Exactly.
The climax of the movie is basically the face reveal of this monster, right? And that's what stands out to you is this sort of weird crab-like vaginal face, know, and it is perfect. It's a perfect creature. It is one of, if not, it is, that and the xenomorph are the 2 greatest monsters created in the 20th century. They just are.
They are.
And
it's just so, even though it's this ugly thing, it's put together so well because it's big and it's huge, but it's not bulky.
Yes.
It's very trim, and you've got the quill dreadlock things going on, and that adds an extra layer to it, and just the netting that it wears, as part of its armor. It's just so intricate and well thought out.
And it's convincing.
It's cool.
Yes.
It just fucking looks cool.
It doesn't look like a guy in a suit.
No, it does not.
It looks like an actual living humanoid creature. And that is way harder to pull off. I mean,
yes, it is.
The vast majority of movie history, monster movie history, sci-fi movie history, the creatures are typically a letdown. Even if the movie is good, which is also rare, the creature's that kind of sucks, right? I love the thing. I love the thing, okay? the end, and I know it was rushed and they didn't get to fully execute it, blah, 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 blah. But the stop motion creature at the end, it's like all the different amalgamation of all the different monsters and this and that. It doesn't look that great.
No, it pales in comparison to the other creatures we saw throughout that film. So it was like we were here and here, and then we just went at the end.
And that proves how hard it is because that movie is masterfully done, and it is known to this day for its creature effects.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just really, really, really hard to pull off the ultimate creature for whatever your movie is if it's a creature feature.
Yes.
And that's very much in the, no pun intended, DNA of this film. This is a creature feature.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get the creature right, it's just another B movie that maybe is fun, but it's like it's one of Arnold's lesser works. And I would argue this is right up there. This is, if you go the Arnold Mount Rushmore, this is on there, hands down.
This is on there.
Yeah.
Well, and in addition to that design and just the look of the Predator, everything else that goes into it just made it so much more believable. Just the way it operates, the voice mimic stuff, the infrared vision, all its cool weapons and toys.
Yep.
And how it has this code about it. It has this hunter's code.
That's exactly where I was going to go. That is one of we haven't even gotten to the movie yet.
I know.
But I was going to say that is out of all these movies, right? That is the coolest thing about this creature is that they very cleverly, it's not a monster.
No.
It's an alien. So it looks monstrous to us. We very clearly look monstrous to it.
Yes.
Right? It thinks we're ugly. We think it's ugly, but it does have a code. It doesn't and some of these movies kind of lose the plot with that, but and we'll get to it.
A little bit, yes.
But they're not just going around killing people willy-nilly. They're coming here for a specific purpose. They're intentionally going to kind of more remote locations, right? Especially in this first film.
Yes.
They're not targeting people who aren't part of the hunt. They have no interest in just going around massacring people or just...
They want a challenge. They're going there to challenge themselves.
They're going there to challenge themselves to get their trophies, which is grotesque. And is horrific and horrifying to us because it's happening to us. But it's no different than your uncle who's got a deer hanging up in his garage because it's cold enough and has got a drip pan under to get all the blood out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've ever had venison stew or deer jerky,
it's delicious.
You're the predator, buddy.
Exactly.
And I don't even think they're eating us. I think they're just hunting us, right?
No, they just want the trophy.
Yeah, and so they're, and again, if an innocent is put in their way, they have no interest.
No,
they will not harm. So hey, that is so. It's a wrinkle that is so because the most obvious way to play this, especially during this slasher period that the 80s were, and the action period, and the gore period, is just to make it a monster. It's just this alien who's just a monster, and it's just
going to kill everything.
Kill everything, right? That's not what this creature is. And I know it sounds so simple, but that simple hunter's code that is never...
It's so effective.
Very rarely stated. It's just implied, and then they eventually just start fucking saying it out loud. But this movie does such a good job of just slowly revealing to you facts about this creature. Because we have to remember this is the first film. So we don't know what this predator is. We don't know the first time we're seeing it in 1987, we don't know what it looks like. We don't know what its purpose is. Why the fuck is it skinning people? Who's skinning people? What is this? That brings me to my first question. The movie opens with a shot of the spaceship. Does that opening reveal take something away from the movie? Because the rest of the movie, I'm going to break it down by time code. McTiernan is intentionally, like you said, building suspense and tension. It starts off as a grounded, semi-grounded, but
semi-grounded.
We're having a lot of conflict at this time. With basically the CIA is sticking in his nose where it doesn't belong in the drug trade, and weapons and all kind of stuff because of the fear of communism and the Cold War and all this sort of stuff. And so that's what baked in this movie. You've got like the most Vietnam movie that isn't actually in Vietnam. Right. So you kind of got a little bit of that like regurgitation of Vietnam sort of stuff, which is, Vietnam movies were like all the rage. during this period. I mean, that's all Chuck Norris was doing. And of course, the Rambo series, which we already covered, right? So we got that element in there. And so it's like, okay, we got some cliches, we got some stereotypes that we're very familiar with. But the whole movie is playing against those stereotypes and actually slowing the movie down. If you look at the pacing of the first 45 to 52 minutes of this film, it moves very methodically and kind of slowly, barring that one action sequence.
Yeah. And watching it again just recently, because it'd been a couple years since I put it on.
Yeah.
You really don't need that opening shot of the ship. It's the same thing with The Thing.
Yeah.
They do the same damn thing with The Thing,
Yep.
and that's something the studio wanted put in there, and I don't know if that's the case with this one. But it's like, it is such a better reveal, and the suspense grows more, and your mind just starts going crazy, like, what is this thing in the jungle? But you already know it's an alien because they showed you that right away. And
Right.
I mean, it doesn't ruin the movie by any means, but if without that shot, the introduction that we get to this creature is it sparks your curiosity so much, because first we get the infrared vision. That's, I think, is the first notion that we get of this creature. And the first time we actually see any part of the creature is its hand in the infrared. And it's like this claw. And so, okay, you're like, okay, this isn't someone with like infrared vision glasses on or anything. This is some kind of creature. And it just blows your mind.
Wouldn't that have worked so much better as that's the first clue?
So much better.
Yeah.
So much better. And I love movies like that where one kind of movie interrupts another kind of movie. Like you get that with Dusk Till Dawn. You think it's this gritty crime getaway film, then all of a sudden, holy shit, vampires.
Yep.
You know? And that's the same. This movie does the same thing, where it's this gritty action. It's so much testosterone pumped into this film, and then all of a sudden, it's like, holy shit, we're being hunted by an alien.
Yeah, it's so much testosterone. It's almost to the point of like satire of the the movies. Like it's never like completely winking at you, but you definitely get the sense that they're pumping this up to kind of they're fucking with us, right? They're creating this movie that would have made sense in the 80s of like, yeah, whatever, I'm a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus,
Tyrannosaurus.
And like, you're like, okay, all right, Jesse the Body and all this sort of stuff, and all
just the actors, the actors they put in this, and just that initial meeting between Arnold and Carl Weathers, where they're, they get that close up of the muscles, and you're like, okay, I know what kind of movie this is. I know what you're trying to do.
But then McTiernan throws that movie in the shit can. And goes, nah, that's not actually what this type of movie is. Like that got you in the door, but actually, by the time we get to like the 30-minute mark, these guys are all pissed scared.
Yeah,
they're all like, "What the fuck? We gotta get the fuck out of here." All that machismo is out, like, right? Because that all boils down that line where he's like, "I'm scared, Pancho," and he's like, "Bullshit! You don't fear no man." And he's like, "Ain't no man, Pancho.
Ain't no man.
Ain't no man." And it's like, all that testosterone, all that bravado. And the other thing, right, is like outside of that scene with the flexing biceps and Dylan, you son of a bitch. Outside of that, Arnold is playing this straight. He's not doing Commando here. He's not doing that was the biggest movie he was just coming off of. Everybody else, their acting is kind of up here. They're overacting. We got fucking, Bill Duke shaving himself. I'm going to bleed you. I'm going to stick you. Like even before he goes crazy, he's crazy.
Right?
Arnold's not doing it. Arnold is like sedate. Arnold almost seems like a real person. We get some bombastic stuff. The biggest bombastic thing in this movie is the score, Alan Silvestri's score. And it's
so great.
It's great, but I almost feel at times it like crowds out the movie. Because the score is, and I don't know, I would love to test this, to watch the movie and watch it almost on mute. Because if you really watch it, you watch how the camera racks and tracks through the jungle. It moves very slowly, just like you would if you were an infiltration unit moving through the jungle. But the score, like these guys are like crawling on their bellies very slowly, and the score's like, and it's like, it's like this weird juxtaposition of like high bombastic action score with them not doing a whole lot. And I'm like, I think it works, but at the same time, it's like, I think it gives the movie like a verve that maybe audience would have been bored because there's not much happening until about the halfway mark of the film.
It's possible. I always saw that score as kind of reflecting the two genres that were being melded in the film, because we get this great action score with the the dun 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 dun, dun all those drums, and then we get the little bit more alien stuff with sounds almost like bongos a little bit. That starts to creep in a little bit, and that's more when we get some of the alien stuff, and after a kill that usually creeps in. And so I that's what I've always loved about that score is it's just kind of reflecting those two genres coming together.
That's a very good point. Now I have a couple of questions for you because just right there with your salient point, you make a lot of salient points, Lindsay. Dutch claims that his team are a rescue team and not mercenaries. But everything about this team
screams mercenaries.
Heavy operators. You have a fucking minigun detached from a goddamn helicopter, and you're traipsing through the jungle as a stealth infiltration unit with a fucking minigun?
Right?
and
yeah, it does not make any sense. They're mercs.
Yes.
They're mercs. That's all they are.
And also, everybody else on the team, everybody else, other than Dutch, seems crazy. They seem like psychopaths.
They're all fucking nuts.
So,
but that's what I love. Another thing I love about this movie is each one of them has their own shtick, their own thing. They're all not necessarily 3-dimensional, but they're not just stock tough guys.
Yeah.
They all have their own thing and their own attitude, and like Sonny Ladman is just great. I love him in this movie. They had to hire a bodyguard to protect other people from him.
To protect the crew and the cast from him because he was that crazy. Yeah. Yeah, he was notorious for being a deeply violent, problematic man.
But he sells it so well on camera that he's just got this quiet menace about him.
Yes.
Another great movie with him where he plays a character like that is Best of the Best 2. If you haven't seen that movie, go check it out.
Is Eric Roberts even in that one?
Yes, and he's wearing extreme deep V t-shirts for some reason.
Deep V, yeah, we got to bring that back. This now, everybody of course talks about all the different things and the memes and this and that from this. The one that doesn't that always hits my ear is like, I don't even think that's a real phrase. Is when I think it might be Poncho's like, strap this on your sore ass, Blaine.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? Why would you strap a machine gun onto your sore ass? He doesn't say like shove it up your ass or stick it up your ass or fuck you in the ass. He says, strap this on your sore ass.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's never made any sense. So I just had to know here, Lindsay, explain this to me, but you can't, apparently.
I can't. I don't know what that means. Because it should be stick it up your ass or shove it up your ass, but strap it on your ass? Why would you strap anything on your ass? I don't know. Especially a gun. I don't know.
Now, I think you will be able to explain this to me. It's time for a little thing we like to call beef break. I want to have a little beef break here, okay? Who is the better, bigger, juicier beef in this movie? Carl Weathers or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, I mean, Arnold did lose about 20 pounds for this movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Carl Weathers was giving him a run for his money. But I always got to go with Arnold.
You can only have one, hang on now. You can only have one beef award, and you got to give it to the juiciest beef boy. Who is the Lord of Beef in this film? Are you saying it's Arnold?
I'd say it's the Predator.
Oh! he's juicy, bouncy, sizzling. Yeah. Okay. The Predator gets the beef award. All right. Well, let's move through some.
One thing.
Go ahead.
One thing with Carl Weathers and their relationship, and he's on this film and he's done stuff with Stallone. Why was he never in any of the Expendables films?
That I don't understand. Yeah.
I never understood.
To-
I assume there's some kind of
To me, the biggest
love lost there. I don't know.
The biggest misfire of the last 20 years are the Expendables movies. Because the premise alone it should have made $400 million.
It should have.
If you have written a halfway decent script without an ounce of cleverness to it and put some actual money behind it instead of weird laundered Russian money, it would have been come on, nobody's talking about this, but the Russians are laundering dirty money into these fake production companies to make movies. Like, that's what's happening. So I don't know why nobody says anything. Probably because they'll kill you. But
right.
But it's just it's like it's such a misfire, such a miss. But we got some misfires in this series. I guess I can't go on my rant. I can't go on my rant. The thing I love about this movie is it does have its one-liners beyond the memes. It has phrases like "time to get old painless" out of the bag.
Yes.
One of my all-time favorite, and I say it to my one friend in particular all the time, no matter what he's doing, I say to him, "You ghost us, motherfucker." No matter what is happening, I will randomly text him that. He is a doctor, and he is at the hospital working hospice care. And I will text him, "You ghost us, motherfucker. Do it again, and I'll bleed you real slow."
Real slow. Quiet like. Just the cadence he says that in is just great.
I'll bleed you really quiet and leave you here. Got that? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's so many great one-liners. I've always liked "stick around" just because it's so simple and stupid.
It's the dumbest one in the movie, right?
It's the dumbest one.
It's very much like that's like a typical Arnold for this era. Yeah. Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick. Of course, I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, what makes that, and nobody ever points this out, is the other guy's response. When he's like, "Hey, Blaine, you're bleeding," and he's like, "I ain't got time to bleed." The other guy just looks at him and goes, "Oh, okay."
You got time to duck?
Yeah. But it's just like, okay. Like this guy's crazy. And that's what sells the line. And he's like, "Yeah, well, you got time to duck." It's the response. And that is what makes this movie, in its goofier parts and its more traditional 80s action parts, such a strong movie. Like you were saying, is they are kind of these one-dimensional characters, but there's enough cleverness.
There's so much personality within it.
That they play off of each other. They feel like a real unit of guys, and of course they were forced to do like real unit training, and for a few weeks in the real jungle, and they all got sick and had diarrhea, and that was famous. They all got horribly ill on this movie, and we're like lifting and trying to gain mass while at the same time they were losing weight from the heat and from like not being able to like keep a meal in. So it's crazy. This is one of the movies where Arnold brought his world famous gym, which is now what The Rock does, where he just would ship a gym to wherever in the world he was. This is one of the first times Arnold does that. Rock has his Iron Paradise. He got the idea from Predator. But it's like we were saying, you build these guys, you build the facade, you play into all of the Reagan era machismo stereotypes, right?
Yes.
Bigger, badder, faster machismo, baby oil, guns, machine guns, and it's all worthless. They're all just firing into the jungle. The minigun is going off, and it's supposed to be this badass scene, and they don't hit a goddamn thing. They got
They don't hit shit.
They don't hit shit. They empty an entire fucking minigun, and it's like there's a little bit of blood on a leaf. Little bit of blood.
No, that's such a great scene. I love that scene because it it tells so much. Just that one scene, and it's just uber ridiculous and silly because they're firing this minigun. Everyone else has no idea what they're shooting at or why they're shooting. Yep. They just come in and start. They're like, "Oh, he's shooting. I'm going to shoot too." And they're shooting grenade launchers and just emptying their clips at the jungle. And they don't even hit it. They scratch it. That's it.
No,
it's great.
Yeah, the first 52 minutes there's hints of something otherworldly, like we talked about. They attack the camp. Arnie deadlifts a truck bomb. We have incredible explosions. It's all A-Team shit, which makes perfect sense now.
It is.
incredible explosions, squibs out the wazoo. You got long burn fire stunts. All of it's being done by the dozens. There's dozens of people on fire doing long burn stunts. There's dozens of commies springboarding for whatever reason off of actual buildings and flaming free fall. And all of that leads up to their masculinity is completely ineffectual. They're up against something that does not give a shit about your politics. They're up against something that doesn't give a shit about how much you bench, how big your gun is. They're up against something. And that's when you really look at the movie, even though it doesn't beat you over the head with it. It does it in such a subtle way. It's one of those things where your brain picks up on it. And you're like, oh, this is something different. And this movie has that like something different quality about it. And that's what it is, which is it's a deconstruction of the genre it is without being an obvious deconstruction. So it isn't just a genre mashup. It's a deconstruction of the genre. No. Even when, like we said, when we get to those alien parts after the 52-minute mark, it's a deconstruction of that because he's not just a mindless killing machine. He's an intelligent humanoid creature with a code who's just here for sport. That's completely different than anything we'd ever seen before or since.
Yes. And I love in talking about with that deconstruction, because by the end, his muscles, his gut, he's stripped of all that. Yep. None of that has worked. He's stripped of all that. And all he has is his smarts, his thinking. He's got to outwit this creature. And so by the end, they've got it where the roles have essentially flip-flopped because now Arnold is hunting the predator.
Yep.
And we get some of those same scenes that the humans went through against the predator, that the predator is going through against this human. There's that scene where he's firing wildly into the jungle and he's trying to sneak around, but he can't see his enemy. And that's just done so well. And it elevates this even more above just an action sci-fi film.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Is it time to return to the jungle action movie? Because right now, only The Rock is keeping the torch lit. Or do we need more jungle movies?
I would love a jungle action movie that isn't like 85% CGI. You know?
Yes.
Return to practical effects and practical locations. I would be all for that.
Yeah, the deaths, when the deaths do come in this film, they come fast and furious. 42-minute mark, Shane Black gets killed. Allegedly, the same producer that was like, fuck that guy, we brought him down here to do rewrites, said that
fuck him, let's kill him.
They rewrote it to where he died first. So they kill him. And then they kill him and it reveals the invisibility. He just gets dragged away, right? 47-minute mark, Jesse Ventura gets a chest burst of another sort.
That's so gnarly. I love it.
It's very gnarly. Question for you. Are Blaine and Mac lovers?
I think so. They're friends. But who knows what happens, like, you know, in the deserts of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Things happen. You never
know. I don't know. I understand they're friends. They're war buddies. They've been through hell together. They've survived. There always seemed to be something homoerotic about the relationship, though.
It's very possible. I mean, because that very sentimental music comes in.
Like not quite
when
taps.
Mac's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Not quite taps. And he's sitting there having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And it's a very poignant moment. So, I mean, obviously this guy meant a little bit more than the others did to him.
Yep.
To say the least.
Yeah. 52 minutes, we get the fake out boar attack. And Poncho gets log jammed. And it's an hour and 7 minutes into the movie before we get the full reveal of the predator. Mac goes nuts, gets his head blown up. Dylan immediately gets his arm blown off.
Oh, man.
And then we cut to to Billy dumping perfectly good weapons and self-mutilating himself on a log, which never made any sense to me. And I think, like, the one critique you could kind of have is he's definitely being presented, Billy is definitely being presented as like the noble Native American cliche who's like, I can sense track and I can do all this sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm a true warrior kind of shit. But it was always dumb to me of him just offloading everything. And because at this point they've Have they figured out at this point? Because has Arnold kicked the gun out of her hand yet, or is that after Billy's dead?
It's after
Okay,
that.
so I'm about to say,
but I think Sonny Ladman's character, he understands what this thing is way before anybody else does. And so I think to him, he's like, I'm not going to go out trying to run away. This guy is a warrior. I'm going to present my warrior self to him and die an honorable death, I guess.
So you think it's more like he knows he's going to die?
Yes.
I see. Well, he does have the line of like, we're all going to die here, Pancho. So maybe he does.
Yeah, I think he knows. And he knew way before anybody else did that there's something otherworldly after them.
What always blows my mind is every time I fire this movie up, and I watch it frequently, Arnold is, when you think about the movie, you think about it as Arnold alone in the jungle fighting the predator. It's only the last 20 minutes of the movie that happens.
No, this is an ensemble film.
Yeah.
It's not an Arnold film, it's an ensemble film because like you said, it's a dialed back performance for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't take the lead. He doesn't have the lead personality, because that's another thing with Arnold films is he's just this over the top imposing personality figure, not just physically, but just what he does and how he does it. And in this film, he takes not a back seat, but just like the passenger seat.
Yeah.
In some of the stuff. And I think that makes it work even better.
Do you have a preference? Do you prefer the lead up, the more 80s action portion? Do you prefer after that 52-minute where it goes monster movie? Do you prefer the last 20 minutes where it's, mono-e alien? Which do you have a preference for what part of the movie you think works the best?
I think it all works great, and I love all of it. This is one of my favorite Arnold films. Yeah. And one of my favorite action movies, action sci-fi. I think where this movie really works the best is that middle part, where they're trying to figure out what they're up against and trying to figure out how they can protect themselves, how they can be on the attack instead of the defensive, and just them figuring out what's going on. I think is the meat of the story.
To me,
but it's all great.
Yeah, it is. It is all great. What separates this from 10 million other B movies, and especially all the ones that would come in its wake, all of the guys in the woods, Deadly Prey, and all this other sort of stuff. There are like Rambo ripoffs and Predator ripoffs, and who's the guy that made all the Predator ripoffs? And
Don Dohler.
Don Dohler. There we go. I knew you would know. Is stuff like this. There's a one shot. It's of Arnie. He's army crawling down towards the hostile camp. And the camera is looking down over him, down into the valley. And it just follows him. It's an unedited one shot, and it follows him down this hill, down this ravine, and the camera's changing its slope and changing angle, and eventually comes down and around him and up over his shoulder, so that as he's looking over a log down into this camp, the camera's coming up just before him. And it's stuff like that. There's so many great tracking shots. The camera moves so fluidly, which I don't even know how the hell they did that with these big bulky cameras in a real jungle with the heat and the humidity, and you have real people are carrying this equipment through real jungle. Yeah. But it's the creative camera angles. It's the choices to show us things, to communicate to us visually. We learn so much about the Predator just by watching it in insert shots. A quick shot of it doing something in a movie lets our brain make the connections, lets our mind figure it out. So it feels smarter because of that, because it's not force feeding us information like almost all of these fucking sequels do. They just like spell it out for you. This one doesn't, and it's so much more interesting and so much more satisfying. And it goes into direction, and apparently second unit direction.
Yes,
that it's the filmmaking that separates this from all the other B movies, action or horror of the era.
No, I love John McTiernan. He directs action so well because he's delicate with it in the way that he does it. And Just recently, I popped in Die Hard a couple months ago, around Christmas time, like I always do. And just those opening shots when the terrorists are coming into the building and getting into their areas they need to, everything is just so choreographed, and the camera moves with them, and it's just done so well. And he does that in this movie too. And God, he directs action so fucking well. He's just so good at it.
So it's so smooth and so and that's what separates this from so many other movies, including every other movie in this franchise, which is why, for me, it is, of course, the number one movie. It's the best of the best, and it is, to me, a 9 out of 10. What's your score? Where would you rank this for the week?
Oh, it's definitely number one. I mean, I think that was a given going in that that this is the best.
We spent an hour talking about only this movie.
I know.
So yes.
And I've got other notes of other things that I wrote down.
Same.
But I mean, so much has been said about this movie already because it is so great, and it's got so many great things in it to talk about, and it's a fun movie to talk about and watch. But yeah, it's my number one, 9 out of 10. It's fucking awesome. It's Predator.
So it is being added to the guest list and the short list, which makes everything else we're about to talk about probably moot towards the end of the season. But we got to talk about like 15 more of these movies. So let's keep it moving.
Right?
Let's talk about a movie I used to absolutely adore. Does it still hold up? I'm talking about 1990s derided but kind of loved Predator 2, which currently has a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
He has thermal image vision, optic prism body armor, laser-guided smart weapons, all-terrain mobility, hazardous atmosphere compensators, and this Thanksgiving, he's in town with a few days to kill. Predator 2, rated R.
Predator 2 was directed by Stephen Hopkins. I guess it's a triumphant return of sorts because he directed Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, which is dog shit.
I have a soft spot in my heart for that one.
Oh, gosh. He also directed 1998's Lost in Space, which is also dog shit. It is written, this was based on characters by Jim Thomas, John Thomas. Allegedly, they get a writing credit on this, although it doesn't feel like they actually worked on it. It's the triumphant return of Danny Glover, last seen in Lethal Weapon 4. Triumphant return of Gary Busey, last seen in The Firm. It is the triumphant return of the late, great Bill Paxton, last seen in Edge of Tomorrow. Here, his acting is equivalent to Robbie Risk doing the Michelangelo voice from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from the same year. I honestly thought, is this... So much of this movie is ADR'd.
It's gotta be.
It's so obvious that it's ADR'd, and it's truly sounds. He sounds like Robbie Risk. He sounds just like Michelangelo, and he sounds
like he sounds like someone doing a Bill Paxton impression.
Yes, and it's dreadful. This isn't a triumphant return, but I just do want to note something. Only because you're on this show, this episode. Mm-hmm. Terry Weigel, I think is her name. She plays the, quote, Colombian girl. She's the coke-fueled sex monkey making weird noises in the scene. It seems like it's out of a Hellraiser movie. She is most famous for being in a Andy Sedaris film known as Savage Beach. I'm sure you...
Oh, shit. I think I have that on the shelf over there.
I was about to say, I know there's some Sedaris somewhere behind you.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple.
Yeah, okay. So, literally, Lindsay, nobody knows who the fuck that is. But I knew as soon as I said that you would be like, oh, I got that. I knew it.
Yep.
It was released November 21st, 1990, which ought to tell you what the faith the studio had in this movie. On a budget of between $20 and $30 million. I don't know where that went. This thing only made $57 million.
Damn.
Elderly LA cop sweats his way through an intergalactic gang war in the dystopian hell of 1997.
Danny Glover is not too old for this shit.
What world is worse? the 1997 of this movie or the 2022 of our reality?
Oh man. I mean, I think it's this because I think right now could do with like some Jamaican voodoo gangs. It'd at least be more interesting and fun.
Mr. Babylon. Yeah, why you come down here, Mr. Babylon?
It'd be a great, it'd be a great juxtaposition.
That guy is the most distinct thing about this entire movie. His whole scene.
He's great.
I'm going to get real granular in my criticism of the scene, but that is the most distinct. That's the best part. Is that guy just throwing bones and reading fortunes, and like Jason takes Manhattan's like dark, toxic waste alleyway.
Yes.
Super hot LA, which is also like super wet and creepy. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Everyone's sweaty.
Oh my God. If you ever wanted to see Danny Glover's like boxer outline under like knit pant, this is the movie for you. Let's start with all the common criticisms. Number one, the city setting.
Okay.
The opening violence, profanity, media coverage, it feels like it's pitched like a gag. And so it comes off almost like, even by having Morton Downey Jr. in there, it feels like discount Paul Verhoeven. It feels...
Yes, it's very Verhoeven and not good Verhoeven.
No!
I mean, I have a soft spot. I like Predator 2 quite a bit. I think it's kind of the black sheep of the Predator family, and I think people need to revisit it if you haven't watched it in a while.
I have opposite opinion. I love this movie. I just revisited it, and I think it needs to be burned. I think this movie is terrible.
Oh no!
I think putting this. Here's the thing: when you put this, the Predator story in a jungle setting, it because it's in a foreign setting to most of us in the world. We don't live in jungles, even if we have visited them. Yeah, it seems like the jungle itself feels like an otherworldly place. So when otherworldly things happen, it doesn't. It's strange things happening in a strange place. When you have all of this goofy horseshit happening, and it's pitched in a goofy horseshit way, happening in this goofy horseshit setting that's also supposed to be the real world, it all just starts to feel goofy. And you say Danny Glover's not too old for this shit. I think he's way too old for this. This guy, and I understand he's not. I don't want Arnold 2.0. I don't mind. Okay, well, you know, the urban jungle, right? Okay, I get it. But I don't mind it being a cop or this or that. And I like Danny Glover. He's not doing his best work here. When he has to do some action sequences and it's not his stunt double, it doesn't look right. He can't run. He can barely walk. It just looks bad. The first 9 minutes of this movie is just a hail of gunfire, explosions, grime, and madness. And it feels like
I love it.
It's so loud and stupid. And it's like a vulgar... And I mean that like in the intellectual sense. I mean that in the academic sense. This movie is vulgar. It is just gratuitous. It doesn't know whether or not it wants to be Verhoeven, because Verhoeven's gratuitous, but he's saying something.
Yes.
He's gratuitous to the point of absurdity, to the point of laughter, to the point of black comedy, to make a commentary. Usually he's taking the piss out of America and being like, you guys are fucked up.
Right.
This is none of that.
This is great because all the reasons you're saying why you hate it are the reasons I love it.
It's got all of the stock cliches, Lindsay. The captain is like, downtown's up my ass.
Oh, yes.
The new transfer who's a hot shot who's guaranteed to get fucking killed. He gets the speech. I only got one speech. I only give it one time. I've seen this movie. It's too much. God damn it. The feds are now calling the shots. Can't trust the feds.
We get Maria Conchita Alonso grabbing people's
Oh
balls.
my God. The feds want the tech, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's so sweaty. That brings me to my next point. Why do people not sweat in movies anymore? When was the last time you saw anybody sweat in a movie?
I mean, the only one that really sticks out to me, and this, I think it died in the 90s. Yeah. After the 90s, nobody sweat in movies anymore. Because like movies like A Time to Kill, everybody's sweaty.
Yes, yes, we've covered that.
Everybody.
It's in our archives.
It's a good movie.
It's all right. Here are the things I like, okay? I'm going on a rant about things I don't like. Here are things I like. Or at the very least, things that stand out.
Mm-hmm.
King Willie.
King Willie. Mm-hmm.
This is Dreadmon. Truly dread.
Truly dread.
Truly dread.
He's got gravel in his voice.
Yeah, it's just so great.
Great.
I think the invisibility effect and light refraction effect is actually improved here.
It has.
The Predator design itself still looks fantastic. He looks great. Fingers look a little weird in certain shots where like you can see like it's like kind of spongy, but other than that, he looks pretty good.
They changed the eyes too for some reason.
Did they?
I think it was this one. It might have been this one. Yeah.
Oh, because they're kind of
the eyeballs.
beady, and in this one they're bigger.
They're more human looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that doesn't look right.
Okay. The King Willie death is one of the worst edited scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Here's how the scene ought to be cut. Willie has some sort of Rastafarian pigeon quotation from the Book of Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually any particular psalm, but it's a mishmash of a few. And he draws his blade because the Predator jumps out off the roof. Why did the Predator know they were there? I gotta save that. I gotta save it for my next part.
I know, right?
He jumps down into the water. King Willie sets as the Predator. He quotes the Psalms. He brings out his cane, which is also a sword, pulls the sword part of it out, quotes the scripture, and then the camera is a close-up, and Willie screams. Okay? What there should be there should be a seamless cut of his face and mouth, cut to his screaming face and mouth revealed as now being a severed head in the hand of the Predator. What we get is we are in a low wide shot where you don't see his face. The scream is looped in after the fact, on top of him delivering the line, quoting the Psalms. So you have two conflicting lines on top of each other, which makes no goddamn sense.
No,
then
not at all.
Cuts from the low wide shot to the severed head, and it's so jarring. The only thing I can think of is maybe the decapitation was too graphic, so they censored it, but they didn't have the right camera angles to pull it off. And they tried to like cover it up.
Something happened there.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. It's like a TV edit. But it's because it could be a rated R movie where you're watching people get gutted.
Right? Yeah. No, it could have been so effective if they did it, if it was put together like how you said, where we see him scream and then it pulls away and it's his severed head. That would have been very effective. And that's kind of what they were trying to go for, but they didn't pull it off.
It's botched.
They did it very, very badly.
It's so strange because there's nothing else as badly botched in this movie. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, or maybe somebody had the idea of like, oh, what if we did this? But they didn't have the coverage for it. I don't know.
That could be.
If you don't have the shots, you don't have the shots. Don't do it. The other thing that stands out is maybe one of the ugliest kids in movie history saying, "Want some candy?
Want some candy?
Yeah. Want some candy? Want some candy?
Oh gosh.
Want some candy?"
Well, I'll tell you what I like about this film. I like the setting. I think it's a good juxtaposition from the first one.
Sure.
And it's not exactly in our reality because it's shot in 1990 and it's the far distant future of 1997. And obviously there's some kind of global warming thing going on there in this huge heat wave. And even because we get Gary Busey in this movie.
Oh, we'll get to
who is not Gary Busey enough, in my opinion.
Hider in the house.
But he's... But he's like, it's drawn to heat and conflict. And the conflict is this huge gang war between the Jamaicans and I can't remember the other side.
Puerto Ricans or something like that.
Puerto Ricans, something like that. And so we get this opening.
Colombians. It's the Colombians.
Colombians, that's right. This opening chaos on the street. And these gang members are just armed to the teeth and they're grabbing fistfuls of cocaine and snorting it. And they're just going fucking crazy. And it's pretty much with the secondary dialogue you get that this is happening all over the city because the specialized unit that they want to bring in, they're busy fighting some other war on the street, like 10 blocks away or something. So we get Danny Glover coming in to save the day because he's this hot shot and he won't listen to rules and he's kind of he's a maverick, you know. And he drives his doorless car in there and fucks him up to save the people and all this stuff. Yes, Danny Glover does this. And this is where, so the Predator went there because of these gang wars.
Yeah, and the heat.
So he and the heat, and he's watching this unfold because he wants to hunt these gang members. But then he sees Danny Glover, how awesome he is, you know? And that's why he gloms on to Danny Glover. I mean, I don't think that's sold very well or anything like that. No. That's just the reason that he starts following Danny Glover is because he sees him at this shootout.
But Lindsay, my friend, somehow the movie tells us that the Predator keeps looping itself back around to the meat packing industry or part of town.
Yeah.
And it's going into this meat packing plant and it's got a taste for beef and it's feeding there, right? And then it goes out on its hunts or whatever.
Yeah.
How in the fuck is it tracking Danny Glover?
That's the big... there's no reason. This thing teleports to different places.
It teleports into whatever scene it needs to be in to do the kill.
Exactly.
At some point, it locks on to Danny Glover. I'm with you. I follow the logic. Yeah, it sees him do all this cowboy bullshit. And it's like, well, if I'm hunting these guys and he's taking them down himself, he's the superior prey. He's the superior game. Yeah. I'm going to hunt this guy. Got it. No problem. I'm with you. Okay. Then he fucking disappears. He stops tracking Danny Glover. It made sense when you're in a confined jungle space.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense when you're in an entire city of people. And at some point, it's just Maria Conchita Alonso and Bill Paxton just randomly on a subway train, and the fucking Predator shows up out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And he teleported there from the cemetery where he was fucking with Danny Glover. Yeah, there's no reason he should be there. Want some candy?
Yes.
And what I love about that scene, though, is that everybody has a gun. For no reason.
Yes.
Everybody has a gun.
No, see, okay.
Everybody has a gun.
The good part of the scene is it does feel like again, knockoff Verhoeven, right? Without the smarts. But yeah, everybody on the train has a gun. I mean, this whole movie is basically a white panic movie. In the early 90s, no, seriously, in the early 90s, if you remember, white people were just so terrified of minorities in LA in particular. They're killing all these urban legends of all these people of color. They're killing each other for Nikes. They're killing each other for shoes. And, oh my God! And the society. And This is also back when white people actually believed in global warming, and so so people are like, oh my God, the future is going to be a bunch of people of color killing each other, and the major cities are going to become drug-infested war zones, and global warming, and the conflict, all this. There's a lot of movies like this or have that kind of idea in their head, late 80s, early 90s. This is one of them.
Yes.
So if I ignore kind of the patently racially motivated undertones of this movie, if I ignore that, okay, fine. You have to do a better job explaining to me how this thing is tracking them throughout the city.
Yeah.
Why is it jumping from, it's fucking with him by giving him his best friends, giving him a trophy, be like, hey, I killed your buddy, right? It's fucking with him, try to lure him where? Because then he magically teleports there, and then all these people have guns, and I get that, and it could be funny, and it could be clever, and it could be smart, and it's not a badly done scene where it's in the dark, and everybody's panicking, and there's flashes of gunfire and whatnot. Again, decent scene. It stands out. I'd put it in the plus column, but then it fucking falls apart. Here's where it falls apart. How is Bill Paxton not able to shoot this thing at point blank range? He's not invulnerable to bullets. That's not what the Predator is. The reason Dutch's crew could not hit him with bullets is because they didn't know where he was. They were shooting blindly into the jungle.
Yes.
Bill Paxton clearly sees him, even though he's invisible. And
He's in the aisle of a subway car, straight ahead of you.
He doesn't hit a goddamn thing.
Nope.
Why? And it's not like he's firing wildly, like he's in a panic. He is standing there. He is point blank range. I think with a fucking laser sight, and is shooting this thing with a Desert Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And the predator just keeps walking towards him. I don't understand it.
I don't either. No. It
took a cool, here's my point. It took a cool scene that was interesting, that was different than the first movie. I'm in favor. It's okay. And then it just fucking fucked it up. And that's what this movie does. It takes a good, it's in the urban jungle now. Okay, all right, that's cool. It's different. Different, cool. See this creature in a more urban setting. Then it kind of fucks it up. And then it's got Danny Glover. And it's like, okay, lethal weapon. I get it. Get what you're going for. Against type, or okay, slightly older, not muscular. Got it. And it kind of fucks it up. And then the predator is going to track him, but then it fucks it up. And then the subway scene. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that fucks it up. And look at all of these like weird, like dystopian interstitials with Morton Downey Jr. That's kind of like Paul Verhoeven, but then it fucks it up. And it's like, it was such a frustrating watch. And Danny Glover is actively, he's not a good actor in this movie. When he finds out that Bill Paxton's dead, he goes, "Oh, Jerry!" And I just laughed out loud.
Jerry.
Yeah,
I know, and it's such a horrific visual though, because you see his head coming off, and he just throws his body aside. And no, that's my frustration with this film. Yeah, is that it does some really cool things, but then it counteracts them with just dumb stuff.
Yes,
because it does some really cool stuff to further the mythology of the predator.
Yes.
We get some cool new weapons and things. We get his spear. We get the disc throwing thing.
Yeah, the smart
we get
disc.
the nets.
Yep, the net's
we
cool.
get all that.
Yeah,
is very cool. We get some more of the hunter code, because he sees that she's pregnant. So even though she has a gun and she's a threat to me, I'm not going to kill her because she's pregnant, because I'm not gonna fuck up the species. I want the species to keep going so I can keep hunting.
Yes.
It is the reasoning behind that. So I mean, it has these cool ideas with it, but it just can't help itself, and it just fucks it up.
See, right, that's where I went with it, right? Where I went with it is my final summary note is exactly what you just said. The best parts of this movie are the expansion of the Predator code, their operations, the little teases of their culture. Obviously, we get a nod to, at that point, what was just a comic book, which is the Alien versus Predator stuff. We actually get to go on board one of their ships. When he tosses him the gun, and he realizes they've been coming here for centuries. Like, all that stuff is like, okay, it's like they're seeds of cool, good ideas. But they're executed mediocrely to poorly at times. Honestly, I think the difference is you don't have John McTiernan. You don't have a top flight guy behind the scenes. You've got the guy who directed the 5th, whether you like it or not, Lindsay, the 5th Nightmare on Elm Street. You see what I'm saying? And I don't understand.
No, I'm 100% with you.
And
that's what frustrates me, because I like this movie, but it keeps getting in its own way, and that's why I kind of try to champion this film, because it has all those cool little things in it, but it just doesn't stick the landing.
I'm gonna pan out a little bit and look at that. I don't understand how a movie that's made for, let's say, $18 million. Let's just take that number as gospel. I think it's a lie. Let's take it as gospel. First Predator. That movie makes $100 million, right? They decide, not long after, we're going to make a sequel.
Yeah, 3 years.
Right. So this thing went into production pretty quick, right? Because it came out 3 years later. So, it probably took, a year or two to make, from pre-production all the way through. So they upped the budget, right? So now it's between $20 and $30 million. Okay, so let's say it's double the budget. Okay, that's fine. You double the budget of the movie. Now, a lot of that's going to go into location costs, because they really filmed it in Los Angeles, and that's going to eat up a bunch of your money. How do you go from John McTiernan to Stephen Hopkins?
I think the biggest reason that we have this huge drop-off is because Arnold didn't want to come back. And I think that's the biggest nugget, is that he didn't want to come back, so that kept other people away from this project.
And that's really, if you look at the series, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. It boggles my mind that 20th Century Fox has this property that is a smash success. They decide to make sequels to it, and they invest damn near nothing into it. And I don't understand that. I do, like, what did they think? They double the budget, but they didn't bring in an equivalent talent. Really, I'm talking about behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So why the fuck even make it? Like, I don't. It's like they set out to make a flop, which is what this movie is. It's a flop.
Yeah.
They made a flop that again, like you're saying, even though you like the movie and you're a defender of it, it gets in its own way. You bring in a competent director, you work behind the scenes a little bit, then you have something that's not going to be as good as the original, but doesn't get in its own way, doesn't fuck its own trajectory up. I just don't get it. I don't get why, like, 20th Century Fox, they did the same thing with the Alien franchise.
Yes, they did.
You know, around this same time, the production for Alien 3. You're coming off of goddamn Aliens, man. Like, this movie made all the money in the world, was critically, praised. And we're like, right. We're going to make a movie on a planet of wood. Like, what the fuck who was in charge of the studio? These are studio decisions where you have two of the greatest monsters in movie history. You own both of them.
Yeah.
You can't make a good movie to save your fucking life after you've done it. I don't get it. I understand if James Cameron doesn't want to come back. I understand if Arnold doesn't want to come back.
They know the formula that works, and they just they either try to replicate that badly,
yes,
or they try to go in a completely new direction, but people don't want to see that. I don't know. I think they're stuck between those two ends of the spectrum where, okay, do we do what we've already done because it worked so well, or do we push this in a new direction and new ways, but people aren't familiar with that. I don't know. I think they don't know what to do. But they don't know how to please everybody.
Step one, bring in actual talent.
Yes.
Bring in a talented director.
Well, I mean, David Fincher, he's good.
Yes.
He's good.
Yeah, but he is good. They brought in David Fincher, and they took the fucking movie away from him.
That's true. That's very true.
Right? They didn't let him actually direct anything. And here's the other thing. At that point, he'd only been directing music videos and this and that. So he's very not true. The David Fincher we know today.
That we know today.
But you get a guy who does have talent, and you can't stay out of his way. And that's just like this movie can't stay out of its own way. It's 20th Century Fox, which is now owned by the Walt Disney Corporation, could not stay out of its own way. They just they doubled the budget, didn't double the quality of any of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And they just shot this movie in the foot from the word go. And I think that, as much as I'm like, okay, Dan Glover's not that good, and they fucking botched the King Willie death and this, that, whatever. Ultimately, I think this movie fails, in my opinion, more than it succeeds because of the studio.
I would agree. And I mean, I enjoy it, like I said, because of the Predator mythology that they expand upon. Yep. They have some great set pieces. That apartment,
yes,
the penthouse apartment. And when they walk in and all the bodies are hanging down, it just looks fucking amazing. You get the Predator on top of that building with the lightning. I don't know why he gets struck by lightning
because it looks
for
cool.
some reason.
Yeah,
because it looks fucking cool. But it's such a great image. There's a lot of great visuals in this movie, and I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. And there's a lot of people that don't like it at all. But I don't know. It's so gritty and grimy and dirty, and I just love that about it. I love it.
I went into this being like, okay, I like this movie. This is a good movie. I had this one. I didn't own Predator. I went out and bought Predator 2. I was like, yeah, Predator 2.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I liked Predator 2 more than I liked Predator. I was like, yeah, Predator 2, that's the better movie. So I knew it wasn't by this point in my life.
Yeah.
I've been doing this long enough, right? So I'm like, it's not whatever. But I didn't go into it being like, this movie's going to be terrible. I thought it's going to be not as good, but I'm still really going to like it. And instead, I'm walking away with a 5 out of 10 for this thing. And yet somehow still it's my number 3 for the week. It's
my number 2.
Oh, no. It's your number 2.
Number 2.
What do you give it out of 10?
And I mean, my ranking doesn't really fit with my number out of 10.
Yeah.
I give this one about a 6 out of 10.
Well, that just shows like you're being objective, but you're also saying I
am being
I've got
objective.
a soft spot for
And-
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. And I you know this, other people know this. I love shitty movies.
Yes.
And this has shitty movie qualities
does.
that are entertaining to me. So I mean, for those reasons, coupled with the other ones, is another reason why I like it. So
Well, speaking of shitty movies, we got a twofer for you here. Let's start with 2004's Alien versus Predator, which currently has an I don't know what on Rotten Tomatoes, but whatever it is, it's too damn high.
too high.
These steel-jawed beasts have a hunger for destruction. Can they be stopped by the ultimate galactic hunter? Predator! The battle is on. Aliens versus Predator, the hunter against the beast. An alien killer crab attacks, but the Predator crab tusk fires shoulder-mount missiles, and Predator scavenge attacks with a double-barreled bola, each sold separately. Will the Predator win the battle against the evil aliens? Aliens versus Predator! Now get a special 2-pack with an exclusive Dark Horse comic.
Alien vs. Predator was directed by my goddamn arch nemesis. And if you want to hear me lose my shit, go find the ranking episode of the entire Resident Evil franchise. I literally broke my brain watching his movies. I'm talking about Paul W.S. Anderson. He directed this movie. He gets a story credit for this movie. He gets a screenplay credit for this movie. It is, of course, based on the Alien characters by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. It is also based on the Predator characters by Jim Thomas and John Thomas. The comic book creators who created Alien vs. Predator don't get any credit whatsoever. No, not a one. It is the triumphant return of Lance Henriksen. We've seen him 10 million times. And it is the triumphant return of Colin Salmon, last seen in Resident Evil, where he played one. If you want to know my thoughts about that, please check out the Resident Evil episode. This film was released August 12th, 2004, and I saw it opening weekend in theaters. On a budget of between $60 and $70 million, it made $177.4 million. Bland cannon fodder bungle their way into a series of unfortunate events amongst the greatest monsters of the last century.
Oh god, don't go to the weird ice pyramid. It is a silly place.
Okay, all right. By 2004, let's set the table here, Lindsay.
Okay.
Both of these franchises were DOA.
Yeah.
This is the exact same strategy that we saw in the old Universal Monster movie days when a monster franchise had run out of steam.
Mm-hmm.
What do? You do, so-and-so meet so-and-so.
Yep.
Son of so-and-so versus such and such, right? Yet as I watch this movie, realizing that's exactly what it is a modern, and I guess now it's not so modern, it's almost 20 years old, but it is at the time a modern geek show, cash grab, B movie. We're just full schlock territory here. But somehow also schlock built off of an extraordinarily popular comic book and video game franchise that had way more interesting ideas, of which they adapted a total of 0. Right. They just made it. They just took the name and made it absolute schlock. Okay, but I'm watching this, and as I'm watching it, I'm realizing that the Wayland, which this character should not be fucking in this movie, but that's fine. The Wayland briefing is nearly identical to the Wayland briefing from Prometheus.
Yes, or
and when you
exactly identical to the briefing in Aliens. It's all the same.
It's all. That's the point, right? Okay. This shows to me an interesting dichotomy. There are stupid ideas.
Yes.
Like Prometheus, with master craftsmanship behind them. And then there are stupid ideas that are made by the unthinking man's Michael Bay, which is who Paul W.S. Anderson is. If you took Michael Bay and then made him stupid, right? You would get Paul W.S. Anderson. That shows the difference. Yeah. I think Prometheus is a dog shit premise of a movie.
It's amazing visually, though.
But it's gorgeous. You cannot deny that this is a top tier directed, produced production design, special effects, cinematography. It is a AAA title.
Yes.
It is a great big budget movie on that level. It just shows the difference between stupid things in the hands of extraordinarily talented people with some money, and stupid things in the hands of stupid people with less money.
Yeah.
You end up with this movie. A movie. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie like this in my life, Lindsay, where an actor's accent sounded phony, but it's their
Actual
accent. Raul Bava or Bova is actually Italian.
Yes.
And it sounds like the phoniest fucking Italian accent I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my God.
It's like somebody from Germany trying to be Italian. I thought for sure this guy was from the Ukraine. And I had to Google it. I'm like, who the fuck is this? What is this accent? He's from Italy. I've never seen it like that in my life. Oh, of all the Italian actors you could hire, could you find one that sounds like an actual Italian?
Right?
Jesus.
Oh my God. No, and there's so many. There's one thing in this movie that I think was done very well, and that's the opening shot.
I think
we get that alien head queen fake out that's the satellite. It's okay. I thought you were going to say the actual alien queen because it's the last time we ever see a practical queen. Yes. No, that whole.
I thought they did a great job.
Whole setup is very cool.
Yes, I thought they did a great job of recreating pretty much exactly what she looked like, maybe even a little bit better than Aliens. They very faithfully recreated a giant puppet.
Yes,
and that blows everything else that we'll see in the rest of these movies away. Because it is practical, and you and I are both marks for practical effects.
And
here's what I think. I think there are good ideas in this movie, there are bad ideas in this movie, and then there are silly / stupid ideas. Yes. Here's a good idea. I like the idea that, yes, the premise of an underground frozen pyramid, whatever. The human beings inadvertently triggering a process.
Yes.
It's going on around them and they're unaware of it throughout the first quarter of the movie. I thought that was pretty clever.
Yes.
I thought that was an interesting little thing.
Yes.
I think the ever-changing formation of the pyramid, so it's almost like just a constant maze or a puzzle. I thought that was interesting. The mostly practical queen, like we said, I think is good. I actually like the idea of a human being teaming up with the predator because what we know, as we've established, is they have a code.
Yes.
So it's not against character because they're not just killing to kill. So when shit starts to get real, if they can find a strong ally, they're going to team up with that ally. Makes perfect sense. I thought, okay, that's true to that character. That's true. Here are the bad ideas. Predators using xenomorphs as a rite of passage for young hunters. Here's why it's a bad idea. If they have xenomorphs on Earth, why would they ever come here to hunt humans?
Exactly.
Because the xenomorph is a far superior killing machine.
It's the perfect organism.
It's the perfect organism. If we're to believe that all human civilizations have somehow stemmed from, they've all been influenced by the technology and the presence of the predator, and that these things have been here for millennia, why the fuck would they ever hunt a human being in Los Angeles or in?
And I think
or the jungles of Mexico.
Right? This was at the time when the whole pyramids are built by aliens thing was coming into popular culture. You have the meme, the guy with the weird hair, aliens, dude. You know, that whole thing. Right. So, I mean, it was capitalizing on that pop culture moment a bit, but they didn't think it through and like the greater replications of making that canon.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all. And
makes no sense whatsoever.
That's what everything in this movie. Nothing makes sense. They'll introduce something or say, "Oh yeah, this is a thing," but if you think about it for a second, it makes zero sense.
Yeah. No, it really doesn't. And I'll give you another example of that. The ticking time clock element of this is, well, we got to get out of this pyramid and we got to do this. We got to stop these creatures from getting out of this pyramid.
Yes.
We got to survive. So the lady and the predator are going to team up so they can survive. But we got to get out. We got to stop them from getting out of here because otherwise they'll take over the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what we know. Xenomorphs can be burned and they can be frozen. The entire premise is that the queen is in frozen cryogenesis.
Yep.
Cryogenically frozen.
Yeah.
So at the very least, if you freeze them, they're going to slow the fuck down. And I just keep thinking about the thing. No dog makes it 1,000 miles to the coast. You think that thing wants to be a dog? It wants to be us.
Yes.
They've already established that they're in no man's land. It's 2,000 miles or something like that away from the next installation.
Yeah.
Not even a city.
And
just like a lab somewhere. Where the fuck is the Xenomorph
the Xenomorph
gonna go?
can't drive a snow caterpillar. Okay, it can't fly a helicopter.
Where's it gonna go?
Where's it gonna go?
Yeah, and that raises an interesting point, which is when this movie ends and the predators take the fuck off and they leave our hero in the middle of Antarctica in bootcut yoga pants and athleisure wear, she's dead within 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, there is a snow caterpillar, but it's like, where's she gonna go? Yeah.
Is that snow cat does it have enough fuel to get her 1,000 miles?
Probably not. Probably not.
No, they had to take a helicopter to get there. They say at one point it's 1,000 miles to there and 2,000 miles underground or something like that. And it's like she's dead.
Yeah.
She is dead.
Yeah. Well, and this movie destroys so much lore from the first two movies. That the predators are coming here because they want a challenge, they want to gather their trophies, and they come about every 7-8 years, whatever. Well, in this one, they're showing that they come every 100 years to do this ritual thing because they talk about the whaling station where they set up base, and they're like, and everyone disappeared 100 years ago. So you think, oh, they took those people and made them part of the ritual to create aliens. But when they go down into the pyramid to the sacrificial chamber, it's these Aztec mummies and corpses. It's like, wouldn't the whaling people corpses be in there?
Yeah.
It's like they come up with these ideas and they're like, oh, that's cool, that's a good idea. But then they just abandon them.
Yeah, they're not, like you said, they're not thinking them through.
No, not at all.
Okay, here's another example. The idea of, the alien skin, the alien exoskeleton protects it against its own acid blood.
Yeah.
So if you could make some kind of armor out of that, it will protect you against, okay, that's fine. The way that they execute that is they just have her with a hand puppet.
Yeah.
She has her hand just fully in the head of one of these things, and it looks so fucking goofy. And she's just running around with a fucking hand puppet of an alien. Yeah, and it looks so stupid. You're like, you couldn't think of anything better than this.
She can't shield her entire body with that thing. It's
no. No, it's relatively useless.
Yeah.
Is this more of an alien movie or more of a predator movie in your mind?
Man, I think just aesthetically, it's more of an alien film, like the way it's shot and things like that. And I don't like what they did with the predators. I don't. They changed up the design a bit. They're bigger, they're bulkier.
Yeah.
And they don't use them and their tools enough. We get a few of the weapons and things like that, but we don't get this hunter stuff or anything like that. There's not a lot of the infrared vision. And why does a predator want to be in the cold?
I guess we're to believe that when they built this pyramid, it wasn't cold because there was a civilization there, and then it froze over at some point.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Why
get
keep
it.
going back? Yeah, why? It's slapdash together, and I think the movie suffers from the problem that a lot of sequels have, which is either, and you kind of touched on this in the last movie, Either we watch characters learn things we already know because we've already seen the other movies,
Yeah.
which removes any tension or mystery, right? So I'm
Mhm.
just wasting time watching characters get caught up to what I know before
Yeah.
the credits even roll, the opening title sequence.
Mhm.
Or the characters know what we know and they shouldn't
Yes.
because they've never experienced this. They didn't watch the last
No.
movie. And that just strains our belief. And that's a big problem with sequels. And the way that Cameron overcame this with Aliens, and it's a miracle that he did, was he changed the premise.
Yeah.
He changed the setting.
He changed the genre.
He added changed the genre. He added new information. And that left us more unsure than we were before.
Yep.
Because we thought we knew what this world was and be like, oh, I've seen Aliens, so I know what it is. He does something completely different. So we are as off kilter as the characters are. I think where Anderson does okay is I think he does a decent job making the face hugger look slimy, creepy, vaginal, sexual.
Oh, yeah. And that scene where you get the slow-mo shot of it jumping and leaping towards the...
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking cool looking. That's cool.
That's cool. I think the way I've always described Paul W.S. Anderson, I did this in the Resident. He's a great commercial director.
Yes.
If you're like, here, we got 2 minutes and give us something else. Because like the best thing about the Resident Evil movies, and I even kind of like unironically like a couple of them because they're just so goofy.
Yeah.
But the best thing about them were the fucking commercials, the faux marketing campaign for the Umbrella Corporation, which he did a lot of that. And it's like, that's what he's good at. He's good at like, make something that's like 2 minutes and is really stylistic and cool and badass and has one cool idea. You give him that, this fucking guy's gonna knock it out.
But when you gotta have him connect dots and pull threads through, he can't do it.
He can't construct logic.
No.
Right? Yeah. He cannot pull a through line through a hour and a half film. He can't do it. He can't do it within a 20-minute sequence.
No.
But 2 minutes or less, he's awesome. So he can give you a scene that's fucking badass and looks great. And you're like, oh wow, that's something we haven't seen before. That's an angle.
Yeah.
That's a this. That's a take on it we haven't seen before. How clever. That's a skill. I'm not trying to diminish the guy. But he's not a feature-length screenwriter for certainly. And he's not a feature-length director, I don't think. Unless he's working off of somebody else's script and he's being heavily managed by more talented people. He doesn't have him in it.
No.
It is more of an alien movie,
Yeah.
but the xenomorphs themselves, the facehuggers look awesome. Eggs look pretty much like they did in the original movie. Great recreation. The queen, like we said, is a great recreation. The actual xenomorph themselves they're lame. They don't do anything. No. There's no tension around them.
No.
They're just kind of there. It's really kind of, all the humans are worthless dipshits. And at the end of the day, I went from really hating this movie. I've now seen the original cut, which is PG-13, which is also really fucking stupid. I've seen the unrated cut, which it doesn't really add very much except for a really unnecessary scene in the beginning that's fucking stupid. And now I've relaxed. There have been so many bad sequels and remakes and everything since 2004. I've really calmed down. And here's what I would say. I think this is a perfectly suitable fan fiction.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a dumb popcorn movie. I mean, it's
a cartoon.
It's pure schlock, which is enjoyable when you're looking for schlock, you know. And I mean, I have big problems with this film, and like I said, I don't like what they did with the Predators. They turned them more into a mechanized type of race instead of this organic thing that they were in the first two movies, which I loved. And so I mean, this film has so many problems, but it's so dumb and stupid, it's entertaining.
Yeah. Here's the one thing about Paul W.S. Anderson. He's going to keep the shit moving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's not going to waste your time. No. It's not going to be 3 hours long. And something's going to be happening almost always.
Yeah.
You know, simple, dumb setup. Then we get into the action. Then the fucking thing happens. Does it make any sense? No. Does it set something up, like you said, and then forget about it? Or even worse, undo it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he really sped up the alien incubation time.
Oh,
It's
my God,
so inconsistent. Like, wow.
It's inconsistent even in the main series,
Right.
but this one especially is like, oh yeah, whatever. It's 2 minutes, it's a half hour, it's whatever it needs to be for the scene. Yeah. You're exactly right. So to me now, I've gone from the point of absolute hatred for this to I give it a 4 out of 10, and it is my number 4 for the week. It's towards the bottom, but it's not the worst thing I've seen.
No, it's my number 5, and I give it a 4 out of 10.
Oh, boy. You're gonna kill me here. I know.
I can't wait.
So let's get into really. I can't believe this is a real movie.
I know.
Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Holy shit!
This is the second time I've covered this. The first time the file corrupted. It was a lost episode. I swore I never review it again. Yet here I am a few short years later. What have I done with my life? Came out in 2007. It currently has a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. This film was directed by the brothers Strauss. And if you're like, who?
Right?
Exactly. It was written by Shane Salerno, who is the writer of Avatar 4.
And 5.
Blows
and
my
6.
fucking mind. And 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It is based on the alien characters. Not really. It's based on the Predator characters. Not really. These motherfuckers released this on December 25th, 2007.
Christmas Day. Holy
Christmas
God.
Day, 2007. And a budget of $40 million, it made $130 million.
Of course it did.
The best man in my wedding loves Requiem. I am divorced. And I blame the failure of my first marriage entirely on this. Him.
Oh my God. He cursed it.
Choosing a best man with such piss poor taste.
Oh my God.
I watched the unrated cut.
So did I.
We have a little something here called the Anti-Vault. The whole purpose of this is to find those movies which are most worthy of our audience's time and most worthy of preservation for all time.
Yes.
And at the end, we have our last movie standing, and things go into the vault as voted by our listeners and as defended by film critics and reviewers like you, Lindsay. Everything else is going to burn in a cinematic, apocalyptic lake of fire. But there are some movies so bad that they need to be sent straight to movie hell before the final judgment day. They need to be quarantined, sequestered, removed from
existence,
film canon, film history, existence. I'm nominating Alien vs. Predator Requiem for the Anti-Vault. I've got 42 minutes in this movie, and the movie had already run out of plot. It had run out of steam. It had run out of ideas. There are 58 more insufferable minutes after the 42-minute mark. And all you're left thinking is, how did two major franchises end up like this?
Yeah.
Directed by nobodies. Written by nobodies. On a shoestring budget. Shot in utter darkness.
Oh, it was
Not a
so dark.
scene is
It was so dark.
fucking lit.
It was the sun was actually out yesterday, and I was trying to watch this like in the mid afternoon. I'm like, I can't
No.
see anything. I can't see anything.
You have to wait until the darkest part of night. You have to draw your shades like a pervert. You have to turn all your fucking lights off. Because I'd already been down the road, Lindsay. I've done this once. So I had to do it again. So that's what I did. I waited until it was like 2:00 in the fucking morning. And I just got it as dark as possible. And you still can't see shit. You can't see this T-Rex looking motherfucker pred alien, god awful dog shit fucking design. It's a creature that is like somehow is a hybrid of the Predator and the alien. Cool, that's fine. But it looks like a fucking dinosaur. Right. And on top of that, it injects Xenomorph
It's some kind of
is
pseudo queen thing going on there.
down the throats of pregnant women who are already pregnant to have rapid gestating xenomorphs. But when the belly bursters come out, they're just fucking regular chest bursters.
I mean, there's like 3 or 4 of them, but
they don't even have the mandible.
No.
So how does a hybrid creature produce a purebred creature when the entire premise of the xenomorph is that it is genetically modifiable?
Yeah.
It takes on. This has been established since the 70s, the original premise. It's son of Cain.
Yes.
It's Cain's son. It looks like a man. The original design, as you know, has a fucking human skull in there.
Mm-hmm.
When you look through the translucent dome, it's a human skull that's inside of it because it's part Cain.
Yes.
It's part human. It mixes with whatever it gestates in. If there's a hybrid version of it that's also predator, and then it fucking impregnates an already pregnant woman, and I guess they're just eating the babies inside of them. I don't know. And then it fucking bursts out of them, and it's just a regular xenomorph. Then what the fuck is the point?
There is no point. The point of this movie, and I had a lot of fun watching this movie because, like I said before, I love bad movies.
No.
And just the fact, okay, this movie introduces people just to kill them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the two.
There aren't characters. There are no characters.
No,
in this movie.
there's people that exist just to be killed. That's it. And the humans are inconsequential to this film completely. They don't matter.
Yes.
The predator's killing them. The predator alien is killing them. They're just getting in the way. They mean nothing. Nothing.
Yet the movie doesn't. They mean absolutely nothing, Lindsay. But the movie spends 42 fucking minutes setting up about this lady coming back from Afghanistan and her daughter.
They're setting it up. It's set up like a disaster film where we meet these little pockets of people and they've got their own little dramas going on, and then at the end they'll team up and only a few of them will survive, and there's this weird romance and but that just completely
the girl's
falls
dating
apart.
the bully. The girl's dating a bully.
Oh God!
And the nerd brothers, whatever. And the nerd brother has an older brother who's been in trouble with the law, but he's coming back to town.
But and is friends with the cop for some reason, and
his name is Dallas.
Oh my God!
Get it? And then I when this happened, my significant other watched this movie, and when they said that this character's name is Dallas, her response was, "How dare you?"
Right.
She was like, "How dare you?" And then the computer sounds like Mother from the Nostromo. Even though this is happening in the 2000s, and it'll be 200 years later.
Right.
Like, oh man, just everything about this movie is where I said Alien versus Predator. If you can accept it as like passable fan fiction, it's fine. This is bad fan fiction.
It's bad.
This is a fan fiction script that somebody puts up on the internet, and it's like, oh, I fixed the franchise, and it's like goes up on a forum somewhere, and you go, this is ridiculous. And again, 100% of the responsibility falls at the feet of 20th Century Fox.
Yes.
Because this isn't even in the same league as Alien versus Predator.
No. It's so much worse. It's so much worse.
And that movie made money.
Yeah.
And they turned around and were like, well, we're going to make another one because that movie was successful. And then they went and they got less talented people again. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. Who is steering this ship?
I don't know. I don't think anybody is. Okay. I enjoyed this movie just because I liked watching all these people die.
Could you see them die? I thought their deaths were uninteresting. Oh, we kill a kid. Oh, there's gore. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. I don't give a shit if it looks awful. I can barely make it out. I don't care about these characters. There's no tension. There's no stakes. And none of this. This feels like a fake movie. This feels like a movie.
It is a fake movie.
It's a straight to DVD film. I don't understand it.
Like what the Asylum that does those ripoff movies? It feels like that.
Yes.
It feels like that.
Yeah. Now let's accept this movie into canon ever so briefly. If Wayland Industries and Utani Corp have encountered and retrieved predator technology, right? Why would they give two shits ever to finding and recovering a biological specimen from a species so volatile and primitive as the xenomorph.
Exactly.
One has weapons and faster than light travel.
Yep.
The other is basically space age.
Yes.
Why the fuck would you be like, oh, well, we got to get to that moon and we gotta go get them eggs because we're going to make a weapon out of it. You got goddamn space lasers. You got a fucking space cannon. You got technology. Why would you need any xenomorph anything? If anything, you'd be like, hey, if these movies are canon, you'd be like, we need all the Predator weapons we can get because we're going to have to defend our world against an impossible encroachment of this horribly volatile species.
No, it makes zero sense.
So again, like you said, you try to introduce this into the canon of either film series.
It doesn't work.
It fucks both of them up.
It fucks everything up. And I mean, they do a couple, like one or two things that I did appreciate with the mythology with the two creatures. They bring back the skin shedding, which I appreciate with the aliens.
Yes.
Because that disappeared for quite a while. Yes. So they brought that back, which I appreciated. With the Predator stuff, we get a couple new weapons. We get the mapping weapon, which seems a little too technologically advanced for their species. We get to see their home world, and they go back to that more organic type of civilization instead of the mechanized one. And I do give them credit for sticking with the end of AVP, where we've got this Predator alien, because that could have been abandoned. Like, they abandoned so much stuff along the way, and as we continue along with this series. So I do give them kudos for sticking with that. But from the beginning of the film, nothing makes sense. Okay? The credits came up in that metallic text, and I went, oh fuck. Audibly, I said, oh fuck. Okay? Yep. Because I knew right away, I'm like, this is gonna be dog shit. And I enjoyed the dog shit because I love bad movies and I love to see a train wreck, and this was definitely a train wreck. But even from the beginning, it makes no sense. Okay, the ship, it takes off right from the end of AVP. It picks up right at the end of that. And we see the combination of the two chest burster come out. And the ship is leaving Earth and gets to, like, Saturn. And all of a sudden, a ship, like a escape pod, comes out and goes back towards Earth. And then we get that creature fucking everything up and taking over. Why is that ship going back to Earth in the first place? There's no reasoning. It makes no sense. I don't get it. It's like, why just have this ship crash right away? Why do you have it leaving and then coming back? Is it just because you wanted to show Saturn or something? I don't get it. I don't get it.
That is a perfect summary of this entire film, which is why I give it a 0 out of 10. And it is the worst of the week. This is the worst movie in this series. I think this is terrible. I am nominating it for the anti-vault as this episode comes out. I will be putting the poll up on Twitter, and I will put it into fucking quarantine. And I want it away from me. I never want to think or talk about it again. So
yeah.
Lindsay, what do you got for this film? Apparently you loved it. Is this your number 2?
It's my number 4.
This is your number 3?
It's my number 4. No. And that's just because I love just watching the train wreck. But it gets like a 2 out of 10. It's complete dog shit. It's so fucking...
Wait, your number 4 gets a 2 out of 10?
Yeah. Like I said, my rankings are a little uneven. I give it a 4 because I enjoyed watching the train wreck. But look...
That means that there's 2 worse in your mind than this.
Yeah.
Oh,
no. Yeah, because AVP I put as number 5, just because this thing didn't even attempt to be a good movie, where AVP did, and that knocks it down further for me. So I mean,
it had higher everything, so therefore it failed harder.
Yes. So that's my reasoning behind it. I mean, in the grand scheme, it doesn't matter because we already picked the number 1. But
sure.
But I mean, I enjoyed watching the train wreck, and it was a train wreck from beginning to end.
Yes.
So
Well, moving on to, I think what's now going to be a very divisive movie betwixt us.
Ooh.
Of course, I'm talking about 2010's Predators, which currently has a 65% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's the last thing you remembered?
All of a sudden, there was a light, and then I was falling.
Who are you?
I was in combat.
Black Ops.
Yakuza.
Who would do this to us?
We're being hunted. This planet is a game preserve. And we're the game.
Predators.
Predators was directed by Nimrod Antal. It was written by Alex Litvak and Michael Finch. It is based on characters by Jim and John Thomas. It is the triumphant return of Topher Grace, last seen in Spider-Man 3. It is the triumphant return of Walton Goggins, last seen in Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it is the triumphant return of Larry Fishburne, last seen in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. This film was released July 9th, 2010, on a budget of $40 million. It again made $127.2 million. Dangerous killers, fine, they aren't the most cold-blooded ones on the planet.
I've got The Expendables in space, or Walton Goggins doing Walton Goggins shit.
I got a lot of different thoughts right off the top. Mahershala Ali is in this movie, which blew my mind. I saw it back in the day.
The cast is crazy.
I didn't know who he was at the time. So then I'm like, oh, wow. Then now I know who he is. He's one of my favorite working actors. I'm like, oh my gosh. Where is Adrian Brody after he made out with that 15-year-old at the Oscars? What happened to him?
He just went a little too crazy. Because, he's a method actor. Like,
yeah,
uber method.
He doesn't work anymore, does he?
No, he does a lot of those straight. He's in the Bruce Willis category now, where he's doing these just churn them out direct to DVD things. I've seen him in a couple of those. So yeah,
That's
he
not
just
good.
After he won the Oscar and stuff, he just nosedive.
My first note is, thank God I can see.
Yes,
it was like a miracle.
Yes, you can see everything.
The first 35 minutes of this movie just flew by. And my question to you is, did you find yourself caring about any of these characters?
It was tough. It was tough because they're all just pieces of shit.
Yeah.
They're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I liked some of them. They were interesting. They had personality. It reminded me a lot of the first one, where each one kind of has their own thing. They got their own personality. And I knew a majority of them were going to die.
Yes.
But even with Adrian Brody, skipping to the end when the ship explodes, I was like, yay, he's dead.
Okay.
I was happy that he got exploded in a ship. It turns out not to be the case. But no, I did not really care for, I had no investment in any of the characters at all.
This to me is like a bit of a Twilight Zone episode, right?
Yeah.
It's strangers trapped in a strange situation as information is sort of slowly doled out, right? It's
which I like.
It's a great, it just opens up. It's a cold open. The action just is already happening. We're on this alien world. We have multiple predator species. I do not believe that this is their home world. This is just a game preserve, essentially, that they've established. And this is completely falling into the 2010s trend of anti-heroes and downright villains being the protagonist or in the protagonistic role, which everybody in this movie, they're all stone cold killers. I think that there's several times in the script where characters do smart stuff.
No, I really love that we're just thrust into the action. We don't know where we are. We don't know who anybody else is. We don't know who our main character is. And we discover things as they discover things. And this cast is just insane.
Cast is nuts.
Adrian Brody, Lawrence Fishburne, Topher Grace, Walton Goggins, Danny Trejo.
Yeah, and there are enough homages to the original, even a few to Alien and Aliens here and there. But it to me, the homages don't feel forced.
No.
I think where the movie kind of falls apart is I think it drags in the middle.
Yes.
I think once we get to the Lawrence Fishburne stuff, it just grinds to a halt. And I don't think that stuff really works all that well. I don't think Fishburne's good.
I understand what they're trying to do with that character, but it
100%.
doesn't work. And I think he does an okay job. And I was like, when he finally showed up, I was like, okay, I knew he was in this. I was waiting for him to show up. But yeah, I think that's where the movie takes a turn and starts kind of losing its plot.
Yeah, and then my biggest issue with it is the Topher Grace reveal doesn't jive.
And I mean, I
like the idea of it makes sense, right? Is the setup is these are all killers. They all very quickly figure out one guy's Yakuza, Adrian Brody's a mercenary, Braga works for as a whatever. You know, they're all military people. They're all assassins. They're all stone cold killers. One guy works for Danny Trejo's like a cartel enforcer, et cetera, right? They're all terrible. Walter Goggins is like a
rapist,
psychopath
killer,
on death row. Rapist, killer,
guy.
Yeah. So it makes perfect sense, right? Like they went around, they grabbed the most dangerous people they could find, and they throw them on this game preserve. And I like the planet, and I like the slow reveal that this isn't Earth, this isn't whatever. Like I like when they get to the cliff and they look out, and there's like the sun hasn't moved, and like there's like 5 moons, and weird planets, and I like all of that. I like the predator, the war dogs.
Yes.
I think they look great for the most part. They get a little ropey in some of the CGI at a certain part, but I like their design, their overall design. I like them. I like that what they do with the predators. They make them more hunters again.
Yes.
I like that they're finding cages and stuff from other worlds with other creatures and skin and sloughing from other things. I like that just randomly.
Yes.
They almost redo the boar scene, but instead of it being a boar, it's just another random fucking alien.
Yeah.
That had been grabbed to be hunted, right? I like that. It feels clever. It feels smart. I like the characters. When the predator sets him up as a trap, Danny Trejo, and he's like, help me. And they're like, no, this is a fucking trap. And the one guy, Mahershala Ali's like, I know because I do this.
Yep.
And then it pans out and you realize that the predator's the one that's making doing the voice and the imitation. It's all, you're like, holy shit. I like the idea of the predator and the super predator where there's like competing species on this planet. And I like all of that, right? There's so much good in this movie, but it kind of like takes a little bit of a nosedive in the middle. It's not bad.
No.
It's just kind of boring and drags. Then it picks up again. And it picks up really well and gets going again. It's really strong when they're trying to escape the ship and this and that and whatever. And Brody's like, fuck it. And he just does something to call the predators there. And all that's good. But then when we get to like Adrian, and I even like the idea that Adrian Brody is just a piece of shit the entire movie. And he's like, this guy fucking got like, they didn't do this to stop us. They did this to slow us down. Fuck him. I'm leaving him. You can come with me. I'm leaving no matter what. And then he really does.
Yeah, he does. He fucking leaves. He's like, bye.
I like that, right? From the point that the ship blows up, that doesn't really make any sense.
No.
Because why didn't he get on the ship?
Yeah.
To the point where as his ankle is busted, and if you notice, he's
fine afterwards.
Yeah. That falls apart.
God.
She chooses to stay with him. Okay, all right, I get it. They're thrown into a pit, right? I don't know why they're not killed immediately, but whatever. They're thrown into the pit. And then out of nowhere.
For no reason.
No reason. Because the idea is like they're all stone cold killers, and there's this one guy who was probably picked up by accident. Yeah. Right? Why was this fucking guy picked up by accident? He's like, I don't belong here. I got kids. I'm a doctor, whatever. Like,
but it's Topher Grace, so you know there's something off there.
Correct. Then out of nowhere, he's like, oh, by the way, I'm a serial killer.
Yeah.
And I've stuck you with some psychotropic drugs I got from plants in an alien world.
That I know about for some reason.
That I somehow know how to identify, and now I've paralyzed you. and I'm going to like slowly kill you and you're going to feel everything, but you're not going to be able to do anything. Like, why is that the time where he's like, and all of a sudden his face is crazy, his eyes are going in two different directions.
He starts going off on the soliloquy like I'm like the predators because we're like these awesome killers and that's all we're consumed by is killing other things. It's like they're gonna kill Earth. You too, dude. They don't give a fuck about you. They're not gonna identify with you. They're just gonna kill you.
What doesn't work about it is he comes off as so normal.
Yeah.
The idea is if this guy is this unhinged, he never could have passed for normal.
No.
He passes as such a normal guy. And then he goes so crazy where he's like, I'm a monster and and I'm a freak on Earth, but here I'm just like everybody else. I like it here. I want to stay. Well, first of all, you don't have any option.
No.
Nobody was forcing him to leave the planet. No. He could have just been like, I want to stay here.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, they don't know Adrian Brody's plan. So they don't know that he's getting a ship to get off the planet, really.
No.
Because he negotiates that with the smaller, more traditional predator. He's like, look, I'll cut you loose. You get me on a ship and get me the fuck out of here. And again, I do like this. Hunter's code.
Hunter's code.
And, whatever. The predator's like, yeah, fine, sure, right? The trapped one is like, okay, it's fine. I'll fucking hack this ship. He sets the coordinates to Earth, right?
Yep.
He shows him. He's like, I'm sending you to Earth. Get on the fucking ship. Get out of here. And I'm going to stay here. I'm going to kill these, whatever, this other species that have been fucking torturing me. And cool. Got it. I even like the other idea where the bigger predator beats the weaker one because he's been fucking crucified for however long. And then he blows up the ship. He's like, fuck that. I'm going to just blow the ship up. That's fine. Adrian Brody should have been on that ship.
He should have been on that ship.
Why? I understand what they're going for. And I'll even say this. When they flip it around and he does the Arnold thing, but not just with mud, but when he realizes they hunt by heat.
Yeah.
So he sets everything on fire.
Yeah.
That is clever.
It is.
And it's fucking awesome. And he's just like jumping out of the flames and like cold cocking the predator with like a log and shit. I'm like, this is good. This feels like a Predator movie. But with the logic of what they've presented to us, he should have blown up on the ship.
Yeah.
It's almost like they put in like 2 or 3 wrinkles too many at the end to be too clever when they were doing a good enough job.
Yeah, no, and it's a little sexist, I'm going to say it, because
yes,
that girl, she's obviously very capable because they wouldn't have brought her to that planet. She should have been the one doing the fire camouflage stuff and killing the predator and be there by herself alone on the planet and seeing all the parachutes come down. That would have made for a better ending for me. But we had to have the hero moment with Adrian Brody, who's been a dick the whole time and not cared about anyone the whole time. For some reason, he decides, nah, I don't need to go home and I'm going to stay here and I'm going to save you. It just doesn't make sense.
I think you're right. I think they should have pivoted to Alice Braga's character.
Yeah.
I think that she should have been the one. Because the rest of the movie, to the movie's credit, she's capable, she's smart.
She's level-headed. She still cares about people. She's the redeeming person in this group. Yes.
She's a soldier, not necessarily. She's a killer, but she's a soldier, not necessarily a just loose cannon psychopath like the rest of these people. Yeah, including Adrian Brody, right? Who's just purely killing for money and has no, like you said, no redeeming quality. I get the idea of like, well, him going back kind of redeems him, this, that, whatever. We didn't need it.
Well, and there was no clue that he would do that. That's it. There's no seed planted for that. And that's the same thing with Topher Grace's character. If some of the other psychos would have called him out, like, hey, you're fucked up too. If there would have been a scene like that where like Walton Goggins kind of clocked him a little, but there was nothing like that. So it was just out of left field, and so it didn't work.
I get what they were going for. It's just like, it's like one twist too many, right? It's just like, it just didn't, it like the movie, sad to say, like the movie is strong enough without it. You didn't need it. So but overall, what really surprised me is I remember like thinking when I saw it when it originally came out, I was like, that's all right. It's like, it was fine. I really liked it this time.
I did
Despite its flaws, and here's the thing. I think it's the smartest sequel we've ever gotten.
Yes, it is.
Because it's The Great Escape meets Die Hard meets the original Predator or something like that. And they actually had a sequel idea for this, which was it was just going to pick up, and Braga and Brody's character were going to find another ship and hijack it. And then it was going to be like Die Hard on a Predator ship.
Oh, that's cool.
Where they had to survive on this large ship that's full of predators. And they're hunted on the ship. And I feel like the first part of the movie would have been like continuing with that like Great Escape idea, right? And then like the next part of the movie was going to be like Die Hard on a Predator ship. And I was like, and you know, Robert Rodriguez produced this, and they got the direction is good again, and the cinematography. It looks like a real movie.
It looks like a real movie.
It feels like a real movie. Like you said, the cast is great, and I'm like, shit. Like I know it didn't like it made money, but it didn't really like perform great. I don't know why they didn't continue in this direction.
I know, and I think it does a good thing because the Predator world has been semi-established, and this just tells another facet of it. It's like it's not a main through the Predator lore. It's like a side story, which I think is a cool idea because you can play around with so much different things without fucking up canon or really changing what the Predator is at its core. And so I think that's the biggest thing going for this movie.
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't answer all the questions. No. Like for instance, this game preserve, right? We've established there's like two species of the predators in this movie, right? There's the super predator, they're bigger, they're whatever, right? We don't even really have an explanation as to why they are. Then there's the smaller ones, which are the ones we're familiar with. Is this game preserve set up by the larger ones? Is it like a divergent civilization to where it's like, we're not going to these fucking planets. We're going to take the creatures from the planet. Because you think about rich people, right? Rich people don't go, and for the most part, they don't go hunt in real places. No. They go to game preserves.
It's called canned hunting. It's where you pay a fee and you get to shoot a giraffe. You're guaranteed.
And that's kind of the sense that I get for this, right? Is that I think the super predators are like, we're not fucking doing what our cousins do.
Yeah.
Fuck the poor. We're just gonna take this planet, right? And we're just gonna fucking flood it with different species and they can't leave, right? That's right. There's because one of the characters is like, I realized like there was no perimeter, right? I think it's Lawrence Fishburne's character. He's like, I try to get out of the area, and I realize there is no end. There is no perimeter, right?
No.
They're in this enclosed space, basically on this planet. So it's the same idea, and so movie doesn't establish this, but I kind of think that's what it is this divergent, more dominant version of the species has set up this game preserve, like you were talking about. They're guaranteed to get kills. They're not really following the same code.
No.
And they even to the point of where they've got their cousins fucking there to hunt.
Right.
And I was like, that's kind of interesting, right? And then also then you can just have a bunch of fucking psychopaths on that planet, and you have this ragtag group of psychopaths who have to do. I'm like, well, like really, like if this had been Predator 2, I like right? This feels right.
Yeah,
this feels right.
It does. Yeah. And Lawrence Fishburne kind of talks about it, how there's seasons, like they'll bring in a bunch of things and they'll learn each time. They'll adapt. They're like, okay, we got bested in this area, so we're going to come back and we'll have these different tactics and different equipment. And it's just, they're training themselves to be better predators. And it's kind of like a simulation, like how pilots do, and fighter pilots do simulations to try to learn things. It's kind of they're gaming the system a little bit to try to get ahead.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that we know, right, from the first two films, because this is in the canon of the first two films, it's shit can, the Alien versus Predator shit. And it's like, this picks up after, Predator 2, basically. And so the thing that the first two films, what we've seen is we've only seen one predator per
Yeah.
hunt, basically, even though others are present.
Yes.
Especially in the second one, right? They're there, but it's this guy's hunt is the one that we're following. The one that Glover kills.
Yes.
On this planet, the superior species, they hunt in a hunting party. They use dogs. They even have names. Yeah, they use dogs. There's one that's known as like the Berserker, which is the biggest one. And that's the one that like goes crazy and like is really
That's
kind
the
of
one
savage.
that's got
There's
like the bone jaw, right?
Yeah, right. There's a falconer who uses like the falcon tech to like find the prey and then send the dogs in to flush them out. And then there's like another one, which I think is like a sharpshooter or something like that. And which I think is the one that gets killed with the samurai sword. Which was great.
That's such a good scene.
They just both die.
Yes.
I was watching it, I was like, okay, here's what they did. They took the Billy scene and they're like, what if that was cool?
Right?
Right? Like, because we didn't get to see it, and all we hear is Billy scream off screen. It works for that movie, but they're like, what if we did that, but this time
we showed you.
The predator. We showed you, and the predator was bested. But the other guy died too, right? And they just both die. It's so good. And so obviously, like, this is something different than what we've seen before.
Yes.
They're hunting in packs. They're cheating, like you're saying. They're gaming the system.
It's familiar, but expanded upon and shows us new things as well.
Which is why when it kind of trips up in the middle and with Topher Grace and with Adrian Brody, it's like so disappointing because you're like, this is a great Predator sequel. And it's like, damn it. Yeah. So I can only give it like, I give it like a 7.8 out of 10. And it is my number 2. I really enjoyed it more than I remembered the first time.
Yeah.
But it does, to use what you said before, it does get in its own way.
Yeah. It's my number 3, and I give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, so we're not that far.
No.
I thought you were going to be like, this is the worst one.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, this one you could tell people are actually thinking about it. And was like, what would be cool? What haven't we done? What have we done? How can we put those two things together? No.
And what makes sense based on what we've seen?
Yes. No, I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, fuck me. I sense a wash burn rant coming. I might just lay out and let you go for it. Of course, we're talking about, I don't even know how this happened.
I don't know either.
We're talking about 2018's The Predator, which currently has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's too high. It's way too high.
We found him in Mexico. Data suggests it tracks prey. A Ranger sniper made first contact. He's being evaluated.
You shove me again, I'm gonna break your neck.
It's the Looney Bus. We told you. Why are you here?
I had a run-in with a space alien. That's the thing that killed my man.
It'll take us one by one.
So come and get us.
This film was directed by Shane Black.
Yeah.
It was written by Fred Decker and Shane Black. It's the triumphant return of Boyd Holbrook, lasting in Logan. It's the triumphant return of Olivia Munn. We will get to her. Lasting in X-Men Apocalypse. Ooh. This film was released September 14th, 2018, and a budget of $88 million.
God.
Where did that money go, Lindsay? Not the special effects. No. This movie made $160 million.
Oh, my God.
Horrific stereotypes and sex offenders are slaughtered by CGI nightmares in search of autism.
I just wrote down bad idea jeans because everybody was wearing them. Everybody was wearing them. Holy shit.
Before its release, we heard that this movie had to be reshot, and the final act of the movie was 3/4 of the way rewritten.
Oh my God.
This is after a production delay. This is after rewrites. This is after them having to get rid of a sex offender who they cast as a side role. This is after the studio was like, this movie is not good. We need to fix it. And 10 minutes and 57 seconds of this movie, the movie still opens with the idea that Asperger's, aka Asperger's / autism, is going to be the major plot point of this movie.
Oh, God.
It is so crude and malinformed and cruel and unnecessarily mean, and it's punching down. And even though they want to do this whole thing of like, no, being non-neurotypical is a superpower.
Yeah, it's the next step in evolution.
It's so ugly and mean-spirited and stupid of a movie. And here's the thing. We have a dark checkered history with kids on this show, kid actors.
Yeah.
Pat, my dead co-host, once said he wanted all kid actors to be replaced by little people in movies. That's how much he didn't want to see kids. And I concurred at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Jacob Tremblay can be a good child actor.
He's good. There are good child actors. I mean, and there's a shit ton of that are just fucking annoying. But there are good child actors out there. And he's one of them.
So what? They cast a good kid actor.
Mm-hmm.
What an incredible waste of talent.
Exactly.
There's not a right decision made at any point in this movie.
None.
From the point that, okay, let's start here. Let's start here.
Okay.
Can we talk about houses and movies? A soldier who is estranged from his family. The family, the wife who has no character.
No.
I don't even know if she has a fucking name. No personality. No job.
She's
no
there
prospects.
to say how awesome her husband is.
That is it. They live in a 30,000 square foot house that's open concept and furnished exclusively by West Elm.
Yeah.
Where is this money coming from?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What world does this movie take place in? This movie feels like it takes place in the same fucking world as Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Yeah, it does.
But it is written and directed by Shane Black and co-written by Fred fucking Decker. How do these two guys turn out this tour?
I don't know, because I love Shane Black and his humor. I like Lethal Weapon, Long Kiss Goodnight, Nice Guys.
Yep.
He does that shit so well. And at this one, it's like he was trying too hard because
it's awful.
It's just awful. All the scenes on the bus with the ragtag group of loonies. It's cringe inducing how bad it is. It's just
nothing works.
It's not
nothing.
fun. It's not clever. It's just bad.
I call it the gimmick bus because everybody has a fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
You have a character who's called Gaylord, which is like, what is this? This is like juvenile humor from 1986. Like we're so far beyond this.
Nah.
It's not even just offensive because it's offensive to a lot of different groups of people. It's offensive because it's really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And dated and unfunny and cruel. So it's, this character's called Gaylord.
Right.
And I was like, that's not, and he likes opium. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay. This guy's name's Coyle. And he just has nothing but bad jokes, and that's his character.
And Thomas Jane has Tourette's, and he says
Oh
pussy.
my-
Ah ha ha ha.
Lynch is a pyro. Nettles is the Bible boy, which never factors into his actual character
Nothing.
at all. Like,
And it's like,
and then
I understand it's fun when the ragtag group each has their own personality and little thing.
Yeah.
But this is distorting it through the funhouse mirror where it's try hard, cringy bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, what's mind-boggling about this is Black and Decker. Yeah, I said it. Black and Decker are masters. This is what they're known for, right? Of creating, especially Black, creating dynamic characters who are typically one-dimensional stereotypes, but he does something more interesting with them. Give you a classic example of this. Martin Riggs is the devil may care, devil may cry. I don't care, whatever, hot
Death
shot
wish.
cop, right? Death wish. This guy's got a death wish, doesn't care, blah, 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 right? So really what it really is like death wish, what he really is he's a riff on that template created by Dirty Harry.
Yeah. Dirty Harry, Charles Bronson, all that kind of stuff.
Or Charles Bronson, or any of those characters, right? He is that, like all these movies, they all borrowed from Westerns, but especially like their first couple Dirty Harry films, right? Where it's like, I don't want a partner, I don't need nobody, I take the law in my own hands, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
The twist on it, though, is even though he's going to do some wacky shit, and even though he's going to do some crazy shit, how are we introduced to Riggs? We're introduced to him with a gun in his mouth, and he's getting ready to kill himself.
He's such a broken man because his wife died, and that humanizes him, where he's not just a caricature. And these people in this movie are caricatures.
That's the difference between old Shane Black or the premier Shane Black and the stuff that we're getting here. Here's why. If you ground your character in some kind of relatable, real pathos, and then you start doing strategically funny things or weird things or whatever. Like, okay, the perfect example is this: is First Lethal Weapon. It's the Christmas farm scene, right? The tree lot. He's doing the Three Stooges bit. He's doing this and that. It's 80s action movie, funny, ha ha ha, whatever. Mel Gibson, piece of shit. But we're going back to the 80s. Mr. Charming, this, that, whatever. Handsome guy, ha ha ha. He's kicking ass, taking names, whatever. We've already seen the guy wanted to die. We've already and there's already this semi-comedic conflict between them. But then that fucking scene, the tone of that scene switches because he's like, it's a he's like, every morning I wake up with a fucking gun in my head. I even got a special bullet saved for it. The only thing that keeps me from doing it is the job, man. It's just the job. And Glover looks at him and goes, "You're not like just trying to draw a pension.
Yeah.
You really are crazy, right?" And the drama of it, the humanity of it grounds the craziness of it, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
You establish the character first, and then you can play with tones and stuff like that, but you have to keep coming back to some kind of reality. This does not do that.
No, not at all.
He is famous for being able to juggle tones. He's famous for being able to take typically one-dimensional characters and making them seem more human. He's famous for taking a character like in Long Kiss Goodnight of this one character, and you're in one type of movie, and it turns out you're in another type of movie. That's what he's famous for. He can't do it here.
No,
it's bizarre.
It is, and just I was so confused by this movie because this is the first time I'd watched it. I hadn't watched it because I'd heard how bad it was. I'm like, I don't want to waste my time. And so finally sitting down to watch it, I was just flabbergasted because nothing made sense and things just happened for no reason and with no agency or anything, just nothing. And a
great example of that is Olivia Munn's character, right?
Jesus.
Because even when things happen for no reason, even when they give a reason, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Why are you on this project? Because she wrote a letter to the president when she was 6 years old, which was later cross-referenced to some of her studies in genetics.
Yeah. I'm just like...
In what world are the letters of 6-year-olds to presidents being retained and put into some kind of database for an algorithm?
Yeah, it makes no sense. And her character serves no purpose. She's there to give exposition and dumb exposition.
Yes.
For that matter. Her character could be removed from the film and it wouldn't change anything.
What she's there for is not just, like you said, exposition, but it's this winking, crude, dated, unclever exposition where she's like, well, really, shouldn't they be called hunters?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you get it because that's what the screenplay was originally called.
Yeah.
And her whole character is like, isn't this stupid?
Oh, God.
And this is, you and I have talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
This is the dumbest thing. I don't understand why this tendency exists. Dear Hollywood, this is my letter to you. You know that an idea, an IP, is successful enough and profitable enough that if you take the name and you make a movie off of it, you think you're going to make some money.
Yep.
They do this, and then they make one of these goddamn belated sequels, and then they go, how fucking stupid is this thing you liked?
Right?
What is the point? You're using the name because you know there's a built-in audience.
Mm-hmm.
You then get that built-in audience to come to the theater, to pay money, to watch your dog shit movie, and then tell them that everything you like is stupid.
Yeah. No, the cynicism is palpable with this film. And it makes no sense. Because
that's why I don't understand why he didn't have to make this. There was no contractual obligation for Shane Black to make this movie. Why did he write it so, like you said, so cynical, so... Oh man, what a fucking turd these Predator movies are, right? Yeah. What a fucking waste of time. Look at these fucking dumb characters. Look at this stuff. Look, like, that's the whole tone of it. That's the whole tone of this movie. Who is this for?
I don't know.
Casual viewers aren't going to give a fuck.
No.
The hardcore audience who's your built-in
they're going to fucking
weekend,
hate you for it.
They're going to hate, yeah. Who is this for?
And it's like they throw in this stuff just to reference the original, but it's dog shit. Like they got Jake Busey in this as Keys for no reason. Yes. It's no connection to his character from the second one. He's just there like, haha, here's a connection. Remember his dad played the guy in the second movie. What point does that serve? Same last name. It makes no sense.
He does nothing.
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you have to get your audience to buy into the conceit of your film, no matter how silly it is, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be clever in establishing your world, your premise, your rules, your characters, before you get to the silly stuff.
Yeah. And
this movie does not do that. And here's what it is. Here's what we're describing. It's called the suspension of disbelief. You've got to get your audience in the first 10 minutes of the fucking movie over that hurdle.
Yeah.
Then, as long as you stay within some parameters, you can do a lot. Like we talked about with the first fucking Predator movie. You can do a lot of weird, wacky stuff that would be a B movie in anybody else's hands. But McTiernan and that movie does such a good job getting you over the hump to believe in this world with all these overbuilt muscular guys and making you believe they're really that they're not a threat, that they are under a threat, that they are in danger, and it really gets you to believe that this invisible fucking dreadlocked alien is hunting them, and it gets you to believe it, and therefore you feel the tension. This movie doesn't do any of that. It's too busy trying to be funny. It's trying to be
clever. Yeah, and it's not, because they do shit like when she first sees the predator laying there on the table, she says, "Oh, you're one beautiful motherfucker." It's like, what point is that? What sense does that make? And then they throw out the get to the chopper line at a couple points, and things happen in this movie just out of nowhere. They don't set it up. They don't show it happening. It's like, where did they get an RV? Where did that one guy get a cop car? How did the kid get a radio in the spaceship to talk to his dad to tell him that there was a force field that was going to come up? It's like, how do all these things happen? They don't set up anything. This movie is all payoff. There's no setup. It's just trash. It's just trash.
At some point, somebody has the line, "Not my space animal."
Oh, yeah.
I think that's Olivia Munn.
She's talking about the dog for some reason that they keep around. I don't know why.
Okay, so they bring the dogs back, but they're not the dogs from Predators.
No.
They look like shit. They're cartoon characters. The CGI in this is terrible.
It's so bad.
What they shoot one point blank in the head, and then for some reason it becomes
Lobotomized.
Lobotomized, but also
it.
like they tamed it somehow. And so it just ends up like joining them.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay. Olivia Munn.
Oh, God.
Let's do Actors Court. It's the case of Binge Movies v. Olivia Munn. In this movie, here's what I'll say. I think I can make a case. She's not given a single good line.
No.
Like you said, she doesn't belong in the movie. It doesn't really matter.
Not at all.
Is she an actress?
I'm trying to think of other stuff she's been. I mean, she was in the X-Men movies. She's not. I don't know why she's in movies. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of her stuff, but there's nothing that sticks out like, oh yeah, I remember that character. She's extremely forgettable.
I hate to say someone doesn't deserve their career. I just don't know why she has one.
No, I don't know either.
And by all accounts, she's there are rumors coming off of this set that she didn't know her lines. There were some production assistants that came out and they leaked this, and she would show up late, didn't know her lines, and was just screamed at everybody on the set the entire time. It was just rude to everybody, including the director.
Wow.
And she really saw herself as she was the star of this film.
She's terrible.
It's like, you're given terrible material, but she is also actively bad in this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, a good actor can take a shitty piece of dialogue and make it something.
Yeah.
Or a character that's got some personality and panache. I mean, you give any line of dialogue to even like a character actor like Sid Haig, he's gonna make it something.
Yeah.
But she's flat, she's nothing, and this film doesn't help her.
No.
It gives her no help.
No help whatsoever. And it's a movie that, like you said, it's just filled with baffling choices. Like, why are we doing this? Like, for instance, they just decide that he's going to get this Predator equipment in Mexico, mail it to whatever. It accidentally ends up in his kid's hands. It's Halloween, so the kid doesn't want to wear the cheap mask that, like, in 2018, what mom was going to, who lives in a mansion,
right?
Was going to the discount drugstore and getting a cheap Frankenstein's monster mask.
And sending her child out alone to trick or treat.
Enough autism that he's horribly bullied.
Yes. And that teacher at the beginning should be fired. They pull that fire alarm and he leaves that kid behind. It's like you're teaching a special needs kid and you leave them behind when there's a fire alarm going off. What the fuck are you doing? There's so many this movie makes my brain hurt.
He wears the Predator mask to go trick-or-treating, and then a random guy throws like an apple or something at him, and then it just blows him up and blows his entire fucking house up.
Great explosion.
It's a great explosion, but the decision to have Jacob Tremblay straight murdering a rando is a baffling decision.
I don't get it.
We're supposed to laugh. We're supposed to go, ah!
Right?
And I'm like, I don't know that that's funny. He just murdered a guy. What? And here's the thing. This movie is never good. There's never anything good about it. By the time we get to the baseball field,
oh, God.
The special effects, the direction, everything about it takes a complete and total nosedive.
Mm-hmm.
When you have characters slipping and sliding on CGI, glow-in-the-dark predator blood, that looks like it was hand animated.
Yeah.
And that's when we get to the shoot the dog in the head. And they just all happen to arrive at the same ball field where the kid is. And
there's
everything about this movie, it's already bad. Everything about it goes straight into a new level of terrible.
Just fucking awful. And another thing this movie does is it tells. It doesn't show.
Yes.
All the time.
Bingo.
There's a scene where they first see the giant 11-foot predator killer thing. and I think it's at the ball field even.
The GMO predator.
Yes, the GMO predator. Yeah. And Olivia Munn goes, "Oh my God, it grew an exoskeleton under its skin. Did you see that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't see that. What the fuck are you talking about?" And that never comes back at all. It's never referenced again. It's like, well, what does that matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And here's the thing. This movie comes out almost a decade after Predators. Okay.
Oh my God.
And it looks worse. And the design of the super predator from Predators is far superior to the design of the GMO predator.
Yeah, and it's like to make something more menacing, you don't have to just make it bigger.
Oh, well, see, it's here. So here's, if you haven't seen this movie, we're talking around it, but here's the basic premise. It turns out that there's two factions of predators. I wonder where they got that from. But now one's even bigger than the other big one we saw. And it turns out that when they're collecting our skulls and shit, they're not just collecting them as trophies. They're drinking our spinal fluid and they're getting our DNA because they're beginning to genetically augment themselves. And the way we figure this out is we capture one of the OG predators. Now, here's to your point, what doesn't make any fucking sense is Sterling K. Brown immediately says, "Oh, we think they're here to try to help us."
Yeah.
If you think that this thing is here to help us, why is it sedated and being held hostage in a fucking lab?
Right?
If it is here to help us, and here's the thing, you're like, well, we can't communicate with it. Bullshit, because later at the end of the movie, it turns out they've deciphered their language.
There's a translator.
Translator device. Why not ask him if you are under the inclination that you think he's here to help us for some reason? I don't know why they come to that conclusion. Why not fucking ask him what he wants? You can talk to him.
Yeah. It makes so fucking sense.
The predator that is here to help us save the planet from these GMO predators. When he escapes, he just murders everybody.
Everybody.
But he was here to help us. And it turns out that they love to get drunk off of our spinal fluid and mix up their DNA with theirs for some reason, which has never been established before. But what they really want is that sweet, sweet autism.
Yes.
Because autism is the next stage of galactic evolution.
With autism, you can do anything. You can figure out alien technology and language. You can be 7 and have a desk at a robotics firm.
Yes.
Nothing but
you can do anything.
Nothing but things. Nothing but great things.
Autism is magic.
Yes.
And if you can get it inside yourself, then you could be fixed. And that raises my question. If this predator wants autism so bad, why does he not just get vaccinated?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That is terrible and fucking hilarious at the same time.
There's an easier way,
There's an easier route, dude. You don't got to do all this rigmarole chasing back and forth.
Just ask Jenny McCarthy, right?
Oh God.
Do you know as dumb and as terrible as this movie is, do you know that there were 3 endings shot for it? One that they used.
Oh fuck.
What there was one that was proposed that was never shot. The way the movie ends is everybody dies in these horribly cartoony CGI ways. The bland whatever Colton McCoy, what's his name?
I don't even remember his character's name.
I don't even remember his name. What's his name? Boyd Holbrook.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Boyd Holbrook is the dad. His son's got the autism. He's like, oh, the predators are here for me because I'm a great warrior. And then, like you said, they don't show it to us. Olivia Munn goes, no, they're not here for you. They're here for your son who has autism because some people believe that that's the next form of human evolution. That's the exact line.
That's the exact line.
So they kidnapped the boy? And they're going to take him somewhere to get his DNA? I don't know. So they can give them all the GMOs can all get autism. It seems like if you have faster than light travel, you don't need autism. You're smart enough as you need to be. But so they've kidnapped this child with autism. He ends up getting rescued. They kill the predator. Blah 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 blah. Then it just kind of ends very abruptly. and with this like weird funeral with all of like these knickknacks, some of which we've never seen at any point in the movie for these characters.
Hula girl, what?
And he's like,
so stupid.
It's so stupid. Then flash forward to apparently this America's best dad is not raising his child anymore.
No.
Neither is the mother, who is never seen again. The boy is being raised by scientists in a, like you said,
He's being raised by
lab.
Elon Musk.
I'm half-assed surprised they didn't call that Skynet or what's the
Cyberdyne.
Cyberdyne.
Yeah.
Because here was the original idea. They find a suitcase basically that the original OG Predator was here to bring us technology, and Jacob Tremblay with his autism is just working on Predator tech at a desk, like you said. And then they're like, "Oh my God, what is it?" And then he looks at the computer and he goes, "I think you would call it a predator killer." Which again, do they call themselves predators?
I don't
the
know.
name we gave them.
Yeah.
But whatever. So, okay, Predator Killer. Okay. It's basically an Iron Man suit. But originally, it was not supposed to be an Iron Man suit. It was supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I was wondering if that was where it was going. I'm like, this is going to be a T100 or T whatever the name of the
T800.
T800. I'm like, this is going to be a T800, but it wasn't.
No, they were going to bring it back as Dutch. They were going to bring Dutch back as the Predator Killer. And he was going to be Arnold as an older Dutch. And they're like, they for whatever reason, even though that many of them have now been killed at human hands, for whatever reason, we're very impressed with this one guy in the jungle from the 80s. Whatever. So that was the one, but Arnold refused to appear in the movie.
Of course, because he has some self-respect.
More than Stallone, but that's
true.
Then the next one was this is going to boil your brain. They filmed this. The stunt double. The pod opens, and you see this face mask looking thing, but it's technology, like an Iron Man thing, but it's in the shape of a face hugger. And underneath it, there's a person in a flight suit, and the name is Ripley.
I would have shot my TV if that happened.
They filmed it.
Oh my God.
They built it, they filmed it, they shot it. There's
that makes no
one.
sense. That makes absolutely zero sense.
There's a worse one. They did the exact same thing, only the name is Newt.
Oh, fuck off.
These were filmed. The production designs have been leaked by the guy who was the artist, Yuri Everson. It was on his Instagram. You can find them online.
That makes
this is all real.
That makes no sense at all.
Why is the suit that the Predator built have a mask that looks like a facehugger, and the Predator killer inside is women who will not be born for another 200 years?
And have never seen a predator.
No.
Or faced a predator.
No.
What the
Nope.
That
So the one they go with is this one where it just randomly gets onto like a random tech guy, and then the ending line is like, "Does this come in at 42 long, Bubba?" And that's how the movie ends.
And it really is saying something about this film, where the ending they did go with, which was fucking shitty, was the best one that they came up with.
Yeah.
Good God.
Is there is there anything else that you have to say? Any final thoughts about the Predator?
There's just one. I mean, we've already talked about the worst stuff, but getting a little bit more into it is our main character just sucks. He just sucks. He's horrible. He's a horrible soldier. He's a horrible dad. I mean, you send your child alien technology, and your first priority isn't getting to him. No, you're going to kick back and have beers at the hotel lounge and fuck around with these crazy people. It's like, what are you doing? What? There's no agency to this film. There's no expedience, nothing. It's a slap of mashed potatoes on a plate. That's all it is. It's
what is so weird about it is it didn't need to be made, and it didn't need to be made by these people.
no.
So why did Shane Black agree to make this movie when it's very apparent he doesn't like the idea, he doesn't like the world, he thinks all of this is stupid and beneath him and whatever. And some people have even gone so far as to say that they actually think this movie is a subtle satire of these type of legacy requel reboot kind of a thing, franchise cash-ins. I don't get the sense that that's what this is, and I don't get the sense that this movie's clever
you can do that and still make a good movie.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. I don't know. I know people got excited when it was first announced that he'd be at the helm of the new Predator series, and they're like, "That's awesome because we like what he does, and he was involved with the first one, but probably not, evidently." So I mean, he's got this connection to the original, so I think that's why people got excited, and then the studio was like, "Oh, people are excited, so let's just keep going." And I think he just didn't care, or I think he miscalculated what people really liked about the original.
Yes.
And it was just terrible. Just terrible.
So when a movie is just terrible, what would you give it out of 10?
Oh God. I mean, you can at least see everything in this movie.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's where we're at now, right?
That's where we're at with this franchise.
I can see it.
I can see everything. I give this thing like a 4 out of 10.
That's generous.
It is generous. I mean, just because there is some competency technically wise. Like you can see everything, you can hear everybody, you can understand what they're saying. The shots are in focus.
You can hear what everybody is saying.
Yes.
Sometimes in this movie, I wish I couldn't hear what any of them were saying.
That's very true.
Groan-inducing. Here, well, before I go to that, where does this rank for you?
Oh, it's the worst of all of them.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Okay, I had an internal debate because I'm like, Shane Black versus the brothers Strauss.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Like you were almost talking about, like, well, this is a greater disappointment because there's more talent behind it.
Yeah.
I almost felt the same way here. Where, who's expecting a good movie from the brothers Strauss with a cast of people you've never seen before or since? This is a cast of people that you recognize. This is written by Fred Decker and Shane Black. It's directed by Shane Black. It has money put behind it. Like you said, it was supposed to be a start of a whole new franchise, a whole new series for this. So the expectations were a lot higher. At the same time, I can't get over the fact that the other film could not even competently sound the film, could not competently shoot the film, could not competently stage the film. I could not see what was happening.
Very true.
I did not know. It's so for that reason and that reason alone, this one isn't the worst, but it very well could be.
Yeah.
Okay. And it probably should be because of the level of talent that's involved.
Yeah.
But for the reasons you just said, I have to give it a 1 out of 10, which makes it my 5. I will say this is one of the worst franchise films I've ever seen.
Yeah. And because
with the level of talent behind it. Because you and I, this whole episode, like, why do they keep getting these shitty people to make these movies?
Yep.
They keep getting these shitty people. Well, here's the time they didn't get shitty people. And it's worse almost
it's
than
so much
if
worse.
it had been made by fucking nobody.
Right. Because, I mean, even with, like, Requiem, you could tell they still have some level of respect for the creatures that they're showcasing.
Yes.
In this
fans.
They're fans.
Yeah.
But this one is it's just shit all over.
Yes.
And so I think that makes it more egregious.
It's egregious and it's offensive because not only are you wasting my time with an inferior product, you're telling me that while you're doing it, what a fucking mark you are.
Right.
It's like,
right?
You're insulting me while you're fucking me.
And
But
not even doing it in a way I can appreciate.
Exactly. Yes. Not even in a clever way.
No.
Yeah. You're calling me ass burgers.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, after I paid $15 to watch this movie, or $3.99 or whatever the fuck. So yeah. I didn't ask you to do this. I just did it. So there's 6 films in this franchise, more or less. And I averaged out my scores. The average score for this franchise is a 4.83.
Damn. And that's
bad.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And someone on Twitter said, like, comparing the Alien franchise to the Predator franchise, which one is better? And I think this one doesn't make it. It doesn't make it. It doesn't. It had a really great first movie, and that's about it. That's about it.
Yeah.
At least Alien had aliens. There's no aliens in the Predator franchise. Which is sad because it's such an awesome character.
Predators comes close, but it just gets in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you have to give a recap, what is your recap?
Our trajectory on this episode has just been like a skydive. Okay?
Yeah.
We're up in the plane and we jump out and it's fun, but then our parachute doesn't open and then the backup doesn't open and then we crash through the crust of the earth. Yeah. And just go straight into magma and just we go out in a stupid blaze of glory and oh god.
No.
That's my recap.
Well, the worst of the week for me is Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I give it a 0 out of 10. I nominate it for the anti-vault. The only thing that saves the Predator is that it was in focus. But in many ways, it could be worse and could also be added to the anti-vault.
I think it should be. So bad.
Fuck, let's nominate both of them. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, nominated for the anti-vault. The Predator, nominated for the anti-vault. First time ever. Jesus. 1 out of 10. Coming in after that is number 4 is Alien vs. Predator, which I give a 4 out of 10. Number 3 is Predator 2, 5 out of 10. Sometimes you can't go home again. Predators comes in at number 2 with a 7.8 out of 10. And my best of the week, the one we spent the most time talking about, of course, you knew it before you even hit play on the episode. It is the original Predator, which I give a 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about with the first one is I love the credit sequence. We get the sitcom credit sequence at the end of the original Predator.
Very strange choice.
It's very strange, but it works.
Remind me what your order was again. The Predator is coming in. What?
Oh yeah, we've got number 1 is Predator. Predator 2 is number 2. Predators is number 3. AVP Requiem is number 4. AVP is 5, and the Predator is number 6.
Okay. All right. If you had to give a recommendation of the week of these films, what movie would you recommend?
I would say Predator 2 because I think a lot of people wrote it. I'm not copying it. I don't know what you got. Because I think people wrote it off a long time ago, and I think they should revisit it. Because there's some cool shit in that movie. There's some cool stuff.
I will never not praise Lindsay Washburn except for in this moment. She's out of her goddamn mind. The movie you need to watch is Predators. It's the only one that even comes close to being another real movie written by somebody who's ever written a fucking movie. Predator 2 is bad. If you want to watch a movie that is just a giant misfire of a film, but it is somehow still in this franchise leagues ahead.
Oh yes,
of everything on the back end. And I guess watch Predators 2, but I gotta disagree.
That's why I say you should go back and watch it because it kind of gets shit on a lot, but there's so much worse in this franchise. There's so much worse.
That I will agree with you on. On our next episode, we rank Tom Hanks films of the 1990s, which includes Joe versus the Volcano, The Bonfire of the Vanities, That Thing You Do, You've Got Mail, and The Green Mile. Well, we've talked for 3 hours about Predator movies. Basically, 2 of them are good. We can't even agree on which 2 those are. So I think I've held you up long enough. I strongly disagree with your take on Predator 2. But I didn't going into this. I was right there with you.
Hey, it's all right.
Which is always the experiment of doing these binges like this. Is like all of a sudden you're like, I thought I knew what I thought about this movie, but you don't. So you're always, sometimes your mind gets changed even as the reviewer or the film critic, as it were. Speaking of reviews, where can we find you? I know you got your own YouTube channel. I know you're working with Bad Movie Night. What do you got going on in the first half of 2022 that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, I'm trying to get a more regular upload schedule. I don't know if that's going to happen. I go in, I make plans and it doesn't always work out, but I've got a ton of episodes of I Love This Movie, where we take a movie that isn't talked about a lot, that people do love. You should check those episodes out. The most recent one we've done Romancing the Stone, Deep Rising.
Yes.
I've got one coming out for The Long Kiss Goodnight, which I need to edit. I do VHS haul videos. Right now I'm editing a big mail haul where I saved my VHS mail for a month and opened up those.
I really want to see this. I really want to see this one. I got this
because I'll start to. There's a couple in there that you know about.
There's a Binge Movies hand-picked VHS that's in there.
Yes, there is. So you gotta check out the channel for that. And then of course I'm on the Bad Movie Night channel, where we talk about bad movies, which I love. Sometimes I'm the sole champion of some movies.
I feel like that's probably
which
true.
Can get interesting. Oh my god. But you can find me there. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at the Lindsay Washburn or at Lindsay Washburn. And it's Lindsay with an A.
Of course, if you are a listener of Binge Movies, you like what we do here, you can find our Patreon, patreon.com/binge movies. You can find us on Podbean. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those great places. Please leave us a 5-star review. We do have a YouTube channel. We don't do very much with it, but we're going to do something with it in the future, probably. Of course, thank you as always, Lindsay. And until next time, binge on.